what's happening, everybody? How's it going? Welcome. Where's the Godzilla lo-fi music? Hey, how's it going? I'm your host, Donovan Santiago, and welcome tonight. This is going to be a super fun show. Let me rename myself because guess what? Tonight we're doing a stage reading, a virtual reading of Godzilla 1994. It's an unproduced American, supposed to be the second, I think, American Godzilla film. And so we're reading it. This is the one that was originally supposed to come out in 94, and then they canceled it. And then we got Godzilla in 1998. And we all know how that went. So this script, I think, is way better just by looking at it and reading through it when I was making all this fun stuff. So I think this is a superior script, and I am super excited. And without any further ado, I think that I just want to jump into it. So I'm going to turn off my cameras. Helen is going to start reading the stage directions. But once again, I'm super excited. Please give a round of applause for Godzilla 1994. Here you go. Got your back. Take it away, Helen.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
Yeah!
Godzilla, written by Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio. Final draft, December 9th, 1994. Fade in. Exterior. Arctic Ocean day. Stars in the black of space. Pan down to sapphire blue sky. A brighter star still shining through. It's Arctic midnight. The weak sun tiny on the distant horizon. We skim along the water, in and around looming glacier cliffs. The top of an iceberg pushes through the water's surface. Carved into the ice is a single mammoth word, Godzilla. We continue past along the ocean and discover an old fishing boat. The Rainbow Warrior holds position outside a small natural harbor, all lights extinguished. Fade up title, Arctic Ocean, near the 170th parallel. On deck, eco warriors peer through high-powered binoculars and video cameras. Among them, an intense woman, a Russian man with a scraggly beard, a surly blonde man who monitors a Geico counter. All wear heavy parkas against the gray cold.
Can anyone make out the registry?
What they are watching, a distant salvage ship moored inside the harbor. Its hoist is swung out over the sea. Floodlights illumine salvage divers as they submerge with hoist cables.
Not me. Benjamin, I think my eyeballs are frozen.
It's blacked out. Whatever they're up to, it's no goddamn good.
Near the salvage ship, the divers guide the cables as the hoist engines begin working, winching the cable up.
Background radiation is nearly 100 times normal. They're harvesting reactor cores. They must be.
Russian man.
We don't know that. There's no evidence of.
There's a 30-year plus history of Soviets dumping nuclear waste and old reactors into the Kara, the Baronets, the Sea of Japan.
I swear, I was not there. I had a cold.
So why not the Arctic? Who knows how many of these graveyards there are?
Something's wrong.
The two men refocus on the salvage ship, where crewmen race across the deck. Divers scramble onto the platform. A klaxon sounds. Suddenly, the Geiger counter squeals, reading off the scale. The blond man drops it, startled.
Shit!
The sea begins to boil beneath the salvage ship.
Chain reaction, grab tight.
The sea erupts. The salvage ship is heaved into the air. It disappears in a fiery explosion. The shockwave rocks the Rainbow Warrior violently. People scrambled as the deck tips. Huge chunks of ice peel off the cliff, crash into the sea onto the ship. With a cry, the blond man falls overboard. Smoke pours from below decks. The Geiger counter calls out an uninterrupted staccato. The Russian man stumbles blindly through the chaos, grasping for deck rails.
I can't see. Clothes? Martha? Help me.
Look at that. The snow can't burn. It can't burn.
Near where the remains of the salvage ship, the snow is indeed on fire, an eerie sight. A fissure has opened up in the glacier, still expanding.
Oh my God.
Marta, where are you? What is happening?
The woman stares towards the shore.
It's bleeding.
Red-black fluid flows out of the fissure into the sea. The fluid steams in the chill Arctic air, turning the ocean blood red.
The earth is bleeding.
Interior. Lou Allen home. Bedroom. Night. The window is wide open. The curtains don't move. A fan labors pointlessly, aimed towards the bed, which is empty. Suddenly, the mattress jumps, bumped from beneath. There's a giggle.
I thought we got on the floor to cool off.
Oh, gee. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
Just an observation. No complaint. Please, continue.
The phone rings shrilly.
Ring, ring.
Damn it.
Keith Llewellyn pulls himself out from under the bed to answer the phone. He is mid-30s with a charming smile.
Dr. Llewellyn. How soon? Okay. I'll be ready. What? Oh, of course.
Jill Llewellyn has emerged from beneath the bed. A woman of high intelligence and strong passions. Keith extends the phone.
For you.
Dr. Llewellyn, how soon? Yes, I can be ready.
She hangs up, looks at Keith, dismayed.
The Arctic. Both of us.
I hate cold weather.
Pulls him to her, smiles at him.
Could be our last chance to be warm for a while.
He smiles back at her, leans in to kiss her. Bright light floods the room. The curtains are blown back. A helicopter settles down outside the window.
Now the government gets efficient.
Exterior, Llewellyn home, night. At an upstairs window, Tina Llewellyn looks out. 15-year-old, bright and aching to test boundaries. She peers at the helicopter. A cute pilot guides the copter to the ground. Across the street, a neighbor and his son emerge from their house to investigate the noise. Prop wash blows loose a pink plastic long flamingo. The neighbor grabs for it. The rotors wind down. The cute pilot goes over a checklist. He looks up and his eyes go wide.
Oh man.
Tina is coming towards the copter, wearing t-shirt, tights, and an underage smile.
What the?
Jesus.
Just slap the cuffs on me now and be done with it.
Tina reaches the cockpit. The cute pilot looks down at his clipboard, very aware that looking anywhere else could result in a morals charge.
Hi,
Good evening, miss. Kind of late for you to be up, isn't it?
I'm old enough.
Across the street, the neighbor clutches his flamingo.
I don't care how high up they are. Ever since they moved in, it's one disruption after another.
Son.
I don't mind.
Jill and Keith exit the house, carrying parkas and small duffels. Jill sees Tina and hurries to her. The cute pilot still studies his clipboard.
Tina, this is hardly appropriate fashion statement.
Keith drapes his parka around Tina's shoulder.
That depends on what I'm trying to say.
The cute pilot chuckles and then meets Keith's glare, refocuses on his clipboard. Joe herds Tina towards the house, into the shelter of the porch and the doorway. Keith follows.
Tina?
God, unruffle, Mom. It's no big deal.
I don't want any problems while we're gone. It'll only be a few days tops.
I could stay with Aunt Julia.
And Julia's really home long. We don't want you to be by yourself.
Tina lets out a loud snort of a laugh.
In New York, in Manhattan, here, you're safe. Nothing unusual ever happens here.
She smiles at the sight of him, the helicopter behind him on the lawn gearing up to take off.
Really? You'll be okay?
I'll be fine, Dad. Go on.
Okay, well, bye.
He kisses her forehead, takes his parka, heads out toward the helicopter, pauses to call to the neighbor.
Will you keep an eye on things for us, Mr. Torkelson?
The neighbor's son answers immediately, almost gratefully.
Yeah.
Yes, no problem.
Joe regards Tina, who looks away sullenly. Joe smiles ruefully.
Use some of the money in the bread box to buy a bathrobe, huh?
Whatever, Mom.
Joe looks at her. A perfunctory kiss. Neither is comfortable with it, and then Joe heads for the helicopter. The helicopter lifts. Joe sees Tina standing in the shadow of the porch. She looks very small and alone. Exterior, Arctic outpost, day. And C-130 transport with ski tread lands on a makeshift airstrip. Temporary shelters have been set up. The Rainbow Warrior is now mostly submerged. Joe and Keith emerge from the plane, make final adjustments to their biohazard suits, heavy-duty coveralls with full hood and visor, hood slung back. Keith has a thin file folder. A young captain, Tucker, peach fuzz mustache failing to make him look older, meets them. He also wears a biohazard suit.
You're on mute.
Dr. Llewellyn, I'm Tucker.
Tucker takes Keith's arm, snaps something into the sleeve.
Radiation badge. If it goes red, consider yourself cured of cancer.
And dead, of course.
But a healthy kind of dead.
What the hell have you found here anyway?
Tucker leads them towards the fissure. Ahead, biosuited workers wheel large storage drums out of the fissure. One worker reseats a lid. Joe stops him, peers inside.
This is a peculiar soup.
Early analysis is pretty weird. It has a marked resemblance to amniotic fluid, we think.
Amniotic fluid.
Like in the womb?
Uh-huh. Well, not really. There are some complex compounds and a heavy barbiturate presence, we think.
Jill scowls, her mind suddenly very far away as she contemplates this information.
I know one of you, Doctors Llewellyn, is a biochemist.
Despite being addressed, Jill does not answer. Keith steps in.
That would be the pretty one.
We have a lab set up if you'd like to.
But Jill is already moving off with the worker wheeling the barrel.
I think you'd like to. Hey, Jill?
She turns. He hands her the file, leans to kiss her cheek, but she's already reading the folder as she walks away. Keith glances at Tucker, shrugs. Tucker smiles, pulls on his hood, seals it. Keith does too. Tucker gestures to follow, slips into the fissure. Interior, womb, cavern, day. Keith and Tucker clamber down, ladders anchored to the glacier, deep into the fissure, into a huge cavern carved out of ice and earth, lit by a string of bare lights that stretch away in both directions. The wall opposite the fissure is imposing and strange, made up of crevices and finely textured stone, markedly different from the ice wall and ceiling. A bio-suited work crew pumps the red-black fluid into storage drum. Tucker leads Keith, slogging through shin-deep fluid.
The entire cavern was filled with this stuff.
Suddenly, there's a low rumble, a small tremor. Ice sifts down from above. Lights flicker. Keith glances at Tucker.
An avalanche somewhere, or the seafloor shifting. The blast that opened this up was some pretty mean shake and bake.
Something beyond Tucker has drawn Keith's attention. Apparently, it is a small cavern. Inside are weirdly regular rows of stalagmite and stalactite. Keith moves inside, examine them. Tucker stands outside.
This is the strangest stalactite formation I've ever seen.
Those aren't stalactites.
Keith gives him a puzzled look, starts to really examine the cavern.
They're teeth.
Keith's eyes widen. He suddenly sees what's been in front of him all along. He's inside a giant mouth. He scrambles out to beside Tucker.
My God! My God!
He takes in the mouth, touches the strangely textured wall.
This isn't stone, is it? It's petrified or something, but this is skin. It's skin.
It's skin, we think. But it might as well be stone for all the good we've done trying to get a tissue sample. We broke 3 diamond drill bits on it.
Keith clambers up over and the open mouth, caught up in the moment.
This is incredible. The preservation is extraordinary. Mammoths and the like found frozen show much more decay. Even the Alps Iceman.
He stops, stares down the length of the body. The string of lights is more than a football field in length.
How big is this?
Tucker climbs up beside him.
247 feet. There's also a tail, but how long that is, we can't tell yet.
247 feet? 247 feet. So much for Seismosaurus and Ultrasaurus. Is it a dinosaur, isn't it?
Tucker shrugs, then nods, grinning.
We think.
Another tremor, bigger this time. More ice rain down. The lights flicker, go out, plunging the cavern into darkness.
Shit, wait a second.
He snaps on a flashlight, illuminating the two men still standing on the beast's muzzle.
Nobody move till we get the lights back on. We don't need anybody tripping over some giant dinosaur nuts in the dark or something. And let's get the lights back on, shall we? Thank you.
Behind the two men, unnoticed by them, there's a movement. The monster's eyelid opens. 10 feet across. A second semi-transparent protective eyelid slides away, revealing iris and slit pupil, glinting wetly. The pupil dilates, focuses. The lights come back on. The pupil contracts. The eye blinks.
About time.
Keith turns back to the beast. Its eye tracks his movement. Keith's own eye go wide.
Good Lord.
And then the earth shakes again as the beast's head moves. Claws tear out of the earth. One whole section of wall undulates, and we become aware that the monster's tail is wrapped around the entire cavern. Sections of the ladder tear loose. Climbers plunge to earth. The mouth closes, then opens again. Fire fills the cavern. And there is a distinctive roar, sharp and terrifying, unlike anything anyone has ever heard. Interior, Arctic outpost, day. Jill peers into the microscope, and suddenly the building shakes. She braces for it to pass. It doesn't. It gets worse. The door slams open. A radio man scrambles to the radio near Jill. Fluorescent lights flicker, strobing the room.
What's going on?
The whole room tips. Unpending cabinets and shelves. Joe is pinned beneath a table.
Mayday, mayday, this is Arctic Outpost.
A beam collapses, slamming into him, silencing him. The room is still shaking. Joe tries to push the cabinet off of her, but it is too heavy. She looks towards the window and gasps. Despite her obscure view of the window in the half-collapsed wall, she sees the two rows of huge, gleaming, jagged teeth moving past and past and past for much longer than one would expect.
Helen?
Joe says, my God.
He said it.
And then the building is jarred again, and the ceiling collapses, and the flickering lights flicker off. Exterior, Taki Island, night. Fade up title, Taki Islands, northeast of Japan. Heavy winds and rain, a hurricane. A small fishing village battens down for the storm. Waves slash across the docks. One villager, Junji, looks out for his house. Moored boats bang against the docks. Villagers hurry to cover, past the fish stacked on the wharf. One boat's lines have come loose. It is in danger of getting swamped. Junji gasps. It is his boat. Junji's wife appears in the doorway behind him. Drawn by his gasp, she sees the boat. Junji starts to leave the house. His wife stops him with a hand on his shoulder.
Go out there. You'll drown.
Without my boat, I have no life.
He stares at her, adamant. She nods, resigned, but gestures for him to wait, disappears into the house, reappears with a bright yellow slicker. She helps Junji into it. He gives her a kiss, then ducks into the storm. She watches him go. Lightning scabbles across the dark, heavy clouds. Junji hurries to his boat, struggles to make the line fast. From out in the ocean, the village looks very small, very fragile, and then something rises out of the waves, blocking the village. Huge, with jagged dorsal fin. Godzilla. On the docks, a sound rises above the storm, the distinctive roar. Junji looks up. There is a flashing of lightning. Between Junji and the lightning, the huge shape continues to rise. Junji stares up in horror and shock. One huge, taloned foot crashed down near on the small dock, and then the monster takes another step. A dark shadow falls across Junji. His wife watches, frozen with terror. Junji falls back against the piling. The huge foot looms directly over him. He can see up, up the height of the body, the two arms, the serpentine neck.
Tig, you're on mute.
It cannot be. Godzilla.
The foot descends past him, miraculously sparing him. Other villagers see what's coming. Some run, some freeze, some pray. Some race for the refuge of trees behind the village. The beast looms. 1 foot claw hand reaches down toward the villager, toward Junji. Godzilla scoops up the entire of the day's catch and tosses it into his gulping mouth, past enormous sharp teeth. His head turns toward the village. He moves, the earth shaking beneath his tread. Junji's wife stares up as he nears. Junji screams from the docks,
Run! Run!
but she can't hear. Godzilla's foot comes down, crushing the house. Junji's eye goes hollow. He stares now, a mad witness. Godzilla's tail drags across the village, causing more destruction. More villagers are buried beneath the wreckage. But Godzilla pays them no heed. He reaches for the windswept forest behind the village, scoops a huge furrow in the ground, uprooting an entire copse of trees. He raises it to his mouth, and two villagers who were hiding shake loose, plummet to the ground. Godzilla gulps down the trees. He moves back towards the ocean, then pauses, cranes his head back, looking up into the searching for something. The clouds blow apart briefly, revealing the night sky, empty saves for twinkling stars. The cloud close, lightning crackles. Godzilla roars and breathes fire, a warning, a challenge, and then he goes to all fours and dives into the sea. His huge bulk moves past Junji impossibly fast. Godzilla's 150-foot tail sweeps around, creating a huge wave. The wave crashes across the island, hurling ships over docks and smashing through houses. Junji clings to a piling for his life. The water sweeps by. Somehow Junji holds on. He stares out at the sea, where the monster sinks down, disappearing into the violent storm-tossed ocean. Dissolved to exterior, Pacific Ocean, bluffs, evening. The ocean calm now. On a bluff above the ocean, a road passes beneath a high, ugly wall, topped with barbed wire. Fade up title, Mori Oga Care Institute. 1 year later, a car veers off the road. Two men get out. Aaron Vault, tall, graceful, eyes watchful behind wire-rimmed glasses. He looks like a ski instructor who chucked it all to become a librarian. Marty Ken, Kinoshita, enthusiastic, bordering on intense. He lugs a large trial case. Aaron steps up on the hood of the car, then on the roof, giving him a view across the top of the wall. Beyond the barbed wire is not the expected prison. Instead, there are manicured tree gardens, small cottage, a koi pond beneath lovely waterfalls, all that betrays the illusion of a luxury hotel is the wall surrounding the grounds on three sides. The bluff is four barrier. Marty scrambles up next to Aaron.
There he is, staring at the ocean.
Across the grounds, a figure sits.
Maybe he is crazy, like they say.
Yeah, well, maybe not. If you wanted to hide someone, keep him quiet, this would be the place.
Marty, no paranoia tonight. Loan me your coat.
Marty frowns but slips off his overcoat. Aaron tosses it onto the wall, covering the barbed wire.
Hey!
Aaron tosses his backpack into the ground, leaps to the wall, swings over a beat. Marty heaves his case over, follows. Exterior, Mori Ogai Care Institute. Grounds, evening. Marty and Aaron near the seated figure. It is Junji, looking much older than can be accounted for by the time passed. He seems unaware of their presence, eyes staring out to the sea.
Mr. Tange, Junjay Tange?
No response. Aaron nods to Marty. Marty translates that Aaron says into Japanese nearly simultaneously.
You're a hard man to find, Junjay. We've been talking to survivors of the Taki Island deluge for about almost a year.
Still no response. Marty adds something more in Japanese with his eyes. Aaron inquires, what?
I said they all tell the same story. The worst hurricane in 50 years virtually washed away one of the chain.
Aaron nods, steps closer to Junji. Marty still translates.
But there are also stories of a man who saw a giant dragon, a dragon that bred fire and made tidal waves.
Nothing. He sighs, and then Junji speaks. Marty translates to English.
Storm killed my wife.
Storm killed my
And I'm a
wife.
crazy man
I'm
that
a crazy
no
man.
one believes.
And no one believes.
Every culture has myths about dragons. The Midgard serpent, Cantello, the dragon that sleeps at the heart of the world. Only I think they're just stories.
He even wrote a book about it, you know.
Before Aaron can stop him, Marty pulls out an oversized paper bag, hands it to Junji. Aaron's photo is on the back cover. Junji looks from it to Aaron. Aaron, a little sheepish, strikes the same pose, smiles, the same smile. Junji turns the book cover over. His eyes widen. The Waking Dragon by Aaron Vault. The cover is an old wood print of a dragon. It vaguely resembles Godzilla. Junji hurriedly opens the book to a photo. An Aztec hieroglyph of Quetzalcoatl, again Godzilla-like. Junji flips through the book, becoming more excited with each photograph, each reproducing drawing. He pauses. Close on an Assyrian carving of a dragon and griffon wrapped around each other, locked in combat.
I believe in dragons, Junjay.
Junji looks up at him, then stands suddenly and hurries off, carrying Aaron's book. Aaron and Marty follow. Exterior, Pacific Ocean bluffs, evening. Aaron and Marty's car sits near the wall. suddenly illumined by high-powered flashing beams. Policeman swarms in. One climbs to the roof, pulls Marty's coat off the wall, displays it too. Pike, wearing a scowl he was born with. He stands in front of two other American agents, all wearing sharply tailored black suits and no-nonsense expression. Pike rolls his neck, a characteristic tick, crackling it, gesture for the police to move in. Interior, Junji's cottage, evening. Simple in design, futon, low table, bath screened off. Junji looks around conspiratorishly, loosens a floorboard.
Doctors would take this opinion.
He reaches into a space beneath the floor, digs out sheaves of paper. They spill towards Aaron, a flood of paper. Drawings of Godzilla, hundreds. Aaron and Marty sift through them, moving carefully to not. Junji speaks excitedly. Marty translates for Aaron.
Okay, he says he dreams of it, remembers stories from his grandfather about the people before people. Stories about...
Junji holds up a drawing. Painted on it are the three Japanese katakana characters for Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Marty whips out a PDA, writes down the name.
Have we ever indexed that name?
No. Wait. Yes. In 1928, Atkinson translated the characters as Godzilla. What?
He cuts him off. A particular drawing has. He kneels staring. Aaron joins him. It is a painting. A griffon curled into a fetal position in a mound beneath the earth. Godzilla breathing fire on it.
The adversary?
Aaron nods, picks it up. Suddenly, two uniformed policemen burst into the cottage. They move toward Aaron and Marty, who back away. Aaron folds the paper, slips into his pocket. Junji, panicked, crawls, picking up his drawing, holding them to his chest. A doctor and several attendants enter.
You are trespassing, and you are upsetting my patient. He should not have these.
The attendants begin gathering up the drawings.
Hey, you can't take those away.
The police escort Aaron and Marty roughly to the door. Exterior, Mori Ogai Care Institute. Grounds, evening. Outside, Agent Pike stands flanked by his agents. He flashes his credentials at Aaron.
Pike? There we go.
Pike, National Security Council. You'll want to come with us. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll take them from here.
Did I call you paranoid? I apologize.
The attendants escort Junji away. Junji twists free in broken English to Aaron.
I am not a crazy with fish tanks. I am crazy because of what I saw.
Aaron regards him. The two men locks eyes.
I believe you.
Junji looks relieved. His mouth trembles into a slight smile, grateful for being believed. Aaron and Marty are escorted away. Junji sadly, resignedly watches them go. Exterior, Traveler, Utah, day. A sign reads, now entering, now leaving, Traveler, Utah, welcome, and goodbye. Along the bottom, it proclaims, visit the glistening cave, guaranteed 30 degrees cooler. A battle battered pickup with a full gun rack rolls past. A border collie rides happily in the back on bale of hay. Fade up title, Traveler, Utah, Southwest United States. The pickup pulls up at a gas station cafe next to a sheriff's 4x4. Two ranch hands, John and Stu, get out. The collie jumps down, sniffs the air, heads out towards the road.
Hold it a second.
He pauses in front of the truck, lights up a Pall Mall.
You're on mute.
God damn it, Stu. When you gonna quit? And aren't you supposed to smoke after you eat?
Stu takes a satisfying drag, grins.
It's what you call an appetizer.
The collie suddenly stops, makes a low growl towards the sky. Then it starts to howl. Exterior, Utah desert, various day. Grazing horses raise their heads, looking around nervous. Vultures on a gnarled branch edge sideway, then swoop away. A crawling lizard stops, tilts its head. A coyote howls. A snake coils defensively. A mountain lion leaps atop a rock outcropping, surveys the desert floor, then suddenly startled, it crouches down, looks up over its shoulder. Angle, the sun, huge, blazing, blinding white. At its center, barely noticeable at first, is a tiny black dot, growing larger as it approaches, soon eclipses the sun. It is an alien probe, hurtling towards us, taking us into darkness. The coyote backs up several steps. The horse move closer together, rubbing past each other. Spooked, the lizard scurries away. In the sky, the alien probe roars. A ball of fire now as it rips through the air downward. The horses bolt. The mountain lion snares. Exterior, Lake Apopka, Utah, day. A quiet, remote lake. On the surface is the reflection of the approaching probe. It grows larger, and then the alien probe slams into the lake. Tons of water are displaced. The rest hisses, boils, churning upwards into a curtain of steam. Nearby, treetops exploding into flame. Exterior, Arctic outpost, day. Wind-blown snow washes across the familiar icy landscape. A soldier trudges towards one of the clusters of shacks that sits at the edge of the gaping crevice of Godzilla's womb. Suddenly, a low rumble builds to a deep, rendering, grinding sound. The soldier turns. In the distance, a pillar of light shoots towards the sky. The light emerges from the huge crack in the ice. A glowing chamber pushes up, cutting through the ice. It is dome-shaped, a series of huge bubbles arranged in the irregular pattern of Mandelbrot equation. The soldier backs away from it, turns and runs towards a low building. So fast he falls hard on the ice. He gets up, pulls open the door. Interior, Arctic outpost, communications room, day. The soldier flips on the radio, grabs the mic.
No, this is Outpost 42. Come in. Jesus, come in!
The radio emits a high-pitched squeal. He clicks the dial. The squeal covers all channels. Exterior, Traveler, Utah, day. In the cafe window, the corner-mounted television flips to static. We hear the same high-pitched squeal. Outside, the collie darts between John's legs under the pickup. Cigarette smoke drifts towards John. He waves at it.
Haven't you ever heard of secondhand smoke?
Yeah, you ever heard of a second-hand ass kicking? That's when I think about hitting you so hard you feel it.
Whack! Suddenly, for no apparent reason, John is knocked flat. Stu stares.
Huh, guess I wasn't kidding.
What the hell hit me?
Stu looks, points. A mangled frog, dazed, lies beside John.
Someone shot a frog at you.
Bang! Another frog bounces off the roof of the truck. Another one slaps down onto the street.
Shit, they're shooting frogs at both of us.
And then comes the deluge rain. Frogs and fish pour down from the darkened skies. They bang off the corrugated tin roof of the cafe. The 4x siren light bar shatters. Stu and John leaps into the pickup. Sheriff exits the cafe, hand on gun. A roly-poly waitress follows. They stare as frogs and fish plummet, breaking windshields. Electricity crackles as telephone wires are snapped. Beneath the pickup, the frightened collie looks out at the madness.
Like in the Bible, a plague is being visited on us. It's a sign of the millennium. Oh.
On a store porch, Nelson Fleer appears. The sign above advertises Wilderness Guide, Cave Diving, Prospecting, Nelson Fleer, Prop. A tall, athletic man, Fleer, carries a dive tank in one hand, a wrench in the other. The rain of frogs and fishes slowly abates. The sheriff moves into the street, hand still on his gun, peering warily up at the sky and stepping gingerly. Fish gasp and flop. Some frogs twitch. The less mangled ones try to hop.
Damn, I hate weird shit.
He sees a dead frog on the rail, flicks it. It flops to the ground. A final glance at the sky, then Fleer ducks inside.
Ducking?
Waitress.
Janice.
Oh, what page?
32.
Oh, 32. Sorry. Can somebody do the line for me, please?
Oh my God, grant us strength to overcome our sins that displeased you.
Grant us strength to clean this mess up.
A squish as he missteps. He lifts his leg to check the bottom of his shoe. Curses. Interior, jetliner, lounge, in-flight, day. Aaron and Marty wait in the plush lounge, uncomfortable. Special Agent Pike enters, extends a thick file.
Here, you're to familiarize yourself with these materials.
Puzzled, Aaron takes the file. On the front is a logo, an armored gauntlet holding a sword, emblazoned with the words St. George Project, stamped top secret. Aaron opens the folder. His eyes widen. Marty leans in over his shoulder. The first page is a photo of Godzilla's head as he was found, half buried in ice. A biosuited figure gives it scale. Aaron flips back to the cover.
The St. George Project?
Grinning, Pike tilts his head, cracks his neck.
Mr. Vault, your government would like to offer you a job.
Interior, St. George Project, conference room, day. Embedded in a conference table is the gauntlet and sword logo of the St. George Project. Aaron's book, The Waking Dragon, is tossed, lands on the logo.
Janice.
What page? I'm sorry, I've been looking.
33.
33.
Oh, shoot.
You're Ed.
Oh, Ed. I'm Ed. Okay. Oh, shoot. This is unvulnerable. Is this acceptable? It is. It is an insult to the work that we've done.
Fade up title, Fort Tuscarora, Massachusetts. Headquarters, the St. George Project. Admiral Timothy Benedek sits at the head of the table. His deep carved laugh lines contrast his razor-cut bearing.
Concerns have been raised about the lack of results. I cut a deal to keep your funding.
Ed, a scientist wearing trademark white t-shirt, leans back from the table, frustrated.
Peace.
Politics.
Your feelings, Dr. Lewin.
At the far end of the table, a figure sits in shadow, hidden from view. The figure stands into the light, and we reveal not Keith Llewellyn as expected, but his wife, Jill. The time past has not diminished the passion in her, but events have darkened it, given it a steely edge.
If he's being groomed for my job, I want to know it.
Vought will start in an advisor role. If that gets results, there won't be need for any further changes.
Jill considers this.
I'll think about it.
Think fast, he's on his way.
Exterior, Fort Tuscarora, St. George Project, day. Pike puts his palm on a palm lock, peers into a retina scanner. Aaron and Marty glance at each other nervously. Door locks unclamp. Pike steps through. Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day. Aaron and Marty follow Pike into the Situation Room. Glass walls surround a combination of mission control and a science lab. Marty looks out through the glass, gasps. The glass building sits inside a larger structure, which contains a huge water-filled tank. Stretching off into the distance, the size of a small lake. Pike sees them looking at it and explains.
To store the beastie, if we ever find it, Dr. Llewellyn calls it the dissection tank.
At the far end of the room, Jill bursts through a door, angry. Benedek follows her.
The man has drawn some correct conclusions.
He's made lucky guesses. Aaron Vought is no scientist. He's a folklorist who believes in the lost continent of Atlantis. He's a crackpot.
He's a popular crackpot. The president has read the book.
Jill speaks to Benedek, oblivious to Aaron's presence.
Listen, Vought wants to collect this thing, to index it, to write books about it and earn lecture fees talking about it and pose for goddamn photos with it. I just want to kill it. So you see, this is a conflict.
Hi. I'm Aaron Vought. Maybe you've read my book?
Jill regards him, locks eyes with Benedek, adamant.
That creature killed dozens of people, including my husband. Our mission stays the same. We find it, and then we kill it.
This point is not negotiable. Benedek nods.
Your mission hasn't changed.
A video phone near Ed chimes. He answers it.
I think it's for you.
He turns the phone to Jill. On screen, a military police officer wearing a white MP helmet and a scowl. Jill rolls her eyes. She knows what it's about.
Tina. I'm on my way.
She exits, pushing past Aaron. He watches her go, then Benedek hands him the copy of his book.
Here, the president asked if you'd sign this for him.
Aaron takes the book, a little shell-shocked. Interior, security office, night, standard issue office, standard issue desks, standard issue MP leads Jill through the bullpen.
She was arrested in the motor pool, trying to hotwire a Jeep.
Tina sits in a chair beside a desk.
Pratik, can you play Tina?
Oh,
Yeah. I've got to remember, red wire to green wire.
She is 16 now, grunge clothes, hair buzz cut on one side, but the camouflage doesn't quite hide the bright, attractive young woman she really is.
If she continues to be unmanageable, you and she will be expelled from base housing.
I think that's her plan.
Interior, car, night. Jill winds the car through clone-identical base housing.
Somebody could take over as Tina.
I would love to. My what page?
38.
38.
I'm on 40.
I got it.
Go ahead. Thank
There's
you.
nothing here for me, Mom.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of grunts and eggheads. No offense.
None taken.
You should let me go live with Aunt Julia.
I'm not having this argument again. This is where my job is. Ergo, this is where you are.
I'm sick of this place. I'm sick of army brats and the MPs and the PX, and I'm sick of green. There isn't even a mall anywhere nearby.
Oh, as though you're going to go hang at a mall.
Well, okay, right on that.
She regards Jill, considering something, proceeds warily.
But I'm not just thinking of me. I'm really not. I'm worried about you, Mom.
Jill glances at her. This is of real concern to Tina.
I think you need to get out of this place, too. I don't think it's good for you.
She gauges Jill's reaction. So far, so good. Takes a deep breath, plunges ahead.
Ever since Dad died, you've changed, okay? Maybe we didn't always get along, but
Do not pursue this, Tina, and do not blame our difficulties on that.
I'm not. Jeez, you can't even talk about it.
Obviously a vulnerable spot for Jill. She looks away. A long silence in the car. They both stare out the front windshield. Tears well up in Tina's eyes. Jill pulls the car up into the driveway of their house. Tina lets out a loud sob, surprising Jill, and bolts from the car. Jill climbs out quickly, calls after her.
Tina. Tina.
Tina pauses on the porch, and then Jill's beeper shrieks. She checks it. Tina waits on the porch, arms folded.
I've got to go.
She climbs back in the car, backs out of the drive.
Well, surprise.
The car's headlights sweep across Tina, and then she is alone on the darkened porch. Exterior, Lake Apopka, underwater, day. Fade up title, Lake Apopka, 10 miles northwest of Traveler, Utah. The alien probe descends into frame, its smooth metal chrome surface slicing easily through the water. Ahead is a submerged cave opening. We follow as the probe is swallowed into darkness. Interior, bat cavern, day. Dim light filters down. Water laps against an underground sandy shore. The alien probe rises through the murky depths and breaks the surface of the water. Several bats, startled, fly past, circling the cavern. Angle, ceiling, where hundreds and hundreds of bats hang crawling over each other, emitting an occasional squeak and flutter. In the water, the alien probe rotates, as if targeting the bats. Suddenly, the probe erupts. Silvery cables explode out from the probe in all directions. A bat is ensnared by a cable. The bat struggles, wings flailing, screeching. There is a sound of searing flesh. Across the cavern, another bat is taken, then another, screeching and flapping. The bats fly, panicked. One bat heads towards light at the ceiling, soaring toward freedom. It is snared by a cable. More bats are taken, and more, building up to. Angle, the cavern, completely covered, overrun by the liquid chrome cables. A complex three-dimensional web. The bats are absorbed by the cables, their masses sucked toward the center of the web, where something grows. Roughly 5 feet tall, we can just begin to see bat-like features. Exterior, Utah, upper cave mouth, day. A narrow crevice on the face of a cliff, high above the devastated lake. Something, many somethings, sail out into the sky. 12-foot wingspans just clearing the opening. giant horrors mutated from bats by the alien probe. The probe bats sweep out across the land, hunting. Exterior, Arctic sky, day. A transport plane drops out of dense clouds, banks in a long, slow curve over the remains of Godzilla's womb site. Interior, transport plane, in flight, day. Out the windows, the horizon tilts as the plane banks. Aaron, Marty, Jill, and Ed on board. Aaron cranes to see approaching below them are the irregular large spheres of the new cavern.
That's the source of the radio burst? Ed?
Worldwide interference narrowing down to a single directional band.
My God, that whole structure wasn't there before.
Exterior, Arctic, sky, day. The transport plane disappears into low clouds. Exterior, Arctic, outpost, day. Wind blows loose snow. Silhouettes of Aaron and Marty appear wearing heavy military parkas. They follow Jill ahead of them to the edge of Godzilla's womb. Jill pauses, looks down. Her eyes are distant, remembering. This is where her husband died. Aaron and Marty wait. Aaron shivers, shakes his head.
I hate cold weather.
He's unknowingly struck a nerve. Jill shoots a look at him.
My apologies for your discomfort, Mr. Vought. We can return you to warmer clime if you like.
She doesn't wait for an answer, climbs down into the womb. Interior, womb, cavern, day. The group is escorted by a burly French scientist. Ahead, rope ladders have been strung up toward a dark crevice.
Entrance to the new cavern above that outcropping. There.
Jill spots something, kneels. A rivulet of red-black amniotic fluid oozes from a nearby fissure. Army personnel collect it in large yellow canisters.
It started flowing at the same time the new cavern appeared.
What is it?
Same stuff the original team found, like amniotic fluid.
Send it south for testing. I want to know if it is the same.
She looks over, notices Aaron staring at a crumpled, folded paper. Junji's drawing. He looks from it to the cavern.
The adversary?
Aaron, will you share with the rest of the class?
It's common in mythology for the great dragons to have opponents, adversaries. Sometimes it's a sun king, sometimes another monster. In the Bible, Leviathan and Belmont.
Right. And so we figured if Godzilla exists...
You're giving it a name.
Oh, we found its name. So if Godzilla exists, then where is its adversary?
Marty's eyes drift upward, over to the dark entrance of the new cavern. Jill rolls her eyes, grabs a biohazard suit. Interior, womb, cavern, new cavern entrance, day. Jill pulls herself up over a final rise, and her eyes widen. The entrance of the newly discovered cave is almost perfectly round. Inside, the walls are finely textured and greenish colored, similar to Godzilla's skin. Aaron and Marty, wearing biohazard suits, climb up, gawk at the structure. Jill pulls her protective hood on, steps forward. There's a dark, flaky substance around the edge of the entrance. She shines her flashlight onto it, frowns.
Organic matter. Dehydrated, petrified.
A doorway, maybe, or what's left of one? An organic doorway?
Aaron takes her flashlight, pushes past, into the cavern. Jill raises an eyebrow at him, follows. Interior, new cavern, day. Dim, otherworldly. Aaron shines the light. The walls are green and blue, delicate lines running throughout like roots or veins, but too symmetrical to be natural. Very weird.
The entire structure seems organic. Hey, remember Junji's grandfather, his grandfather's stories, the people before people.
Right.
imagine a civilization without mechanical technology, but they do have an organic technology, bioconstructs, genetic engineering.
Yeah. It wouldn't be any relics or evidence of it. It would be all decay.
Except this place. This place is special somehow.
Jill stares at them.
Don't go in for empiricism at all, do you?
What?
Jill takes the flashlight back, starts deeper into the cavern.
You spout stuff like that, huge leaps of logic, a total guess, and in your mind, it's already true.
It's not just a guess. You extrapolate from known,
You guess, admit it.
You search for the underlying patterns,
Guess.
She turns her back on him, heads deeper into the cavern. Aaron grins at her.
Yeah, well, I'm a good guesser.
Interior, new cavern, passageway, day. Marty, breathing a little hard, follows behind Jill and Aaron. He stumbles. Inside his protective hood, his visor is fogging up. He tries to rub it through the material, can't. Ahead, he hears Jill and Aaron gasp.
Wow.
Marty hurries forward, emerging out into interior, new cavern, innermost chamber, day. A bizarre sight. Rows of round cauliflower-shaped objects hang down from the ceiling a few feet over their heads, also green in color, shot through with a complex blue structure. Marty breathes out hard through his nose. The visor defogs briefly, then immediately refogs.
So, Vought, where are we now?
Aaron considers. Suddenly, we cut to high angle, looking down. On Jill, Aaron, and Marty, it's a surveillance type angle, the sudden shift in perspective creating the feeling that something is watching them.
I wonder, this structure appears, then it signals us to let us know it's... Godzilla was discovered accidentally, maybe prematurely.
We were supposed to find this here first.
Marty gives up. He wants to see. He pulls up his hood briefly to wipe the visor. Suddenly, shockingly, we shoot down toward Marty, close, toward his neck, under the hood, toward his eye, into a microcosmic landscape. We are the POV of whatever was watching them. When Marty lifted his hood, it attacked. We and it moved through this bizarre, truly alien world. Hair follicles, Marty's eyelash, loom above, big as trees. Ahead is the colorful, beautiful cornea. Moving closer still into the realm of the electron microscope, the cornea is a landscape of individual cells. And now we see the thing as it moves ahead into frame. It is an alien object, microscopic in size, of course, but in this world looming large as a jetliner. It is a spiral shape, shiny. It could be an organism or a machine. The alien object suddenly dives down, twisting, burrowing through the microfilament of a cell, into Marty's eye, past the retina, plunges into the optic nerve. Back to scene. As Marty lowers the flap of his hood, the foray into the microcosmic world has lasted just a few seconds. Marty drops to one knee, blinking.
Hey, you okay?
Something in my eye.
So if we find this before Godzilla, this could be here to give us information about Godzilla.
So what you're saying is this is the owner's manual?
Well, that makes it sound a little silly, but yes.
Jill shakes her head, starts back up the tunnel.
Keep guessing, Aaron. That's what you're here for.
Interior, womb cavern, day. Aaron, Jill, and Marty climb out. Jill pauses, surveys the strange domes of the new structure. Marty pulls a canteen from his belt, begins to drink.
We were definitely brought here. The question still is why.
She looks at Aaron for an answer. He has none. She heads toward the outpost structures. Aaron turns to follow. Marty is still drinking.
Marty, come on, get a move on.
Marty has drained the canteen. He lets the empty canteen fall to the ground, wipes his mouth, licks his lips. He's still thirsty. Interior, Utah, Ranch, day. Fade up title. Quincy Ranch, outside Traveler, Utah. The buzzing of flies. At the edge of a stream, several cows lie dead, mutilated. A single calf bleats, trembling, standing next to the remains of its mother. A vulture flutters down, gnaws at a nearby corpse. The calf bleats again. In the brush nearby, we become aware of a mountain lion crouched, stalking toward, 9 feet and 300 pounds of muscle. It is focused on the calf. Unaware, it lets out another bleat. The mountain lion tenses, ready to spring. Suddenly, a dark shape sweeps down, attacks the lion, one of the probe bats. The lion snarls and roars. The predator has become prey, fighting for its life. The vulture flaps its wings, trying to lift off. A probe bat streaks by and the vulture is gone. Another probe bat dives toward the mountain lion, razored teeth bared in its muzzle. The lion screams, leaps, brings the probe bat down, but 2 more attack, claws slashing the flank of the big cat. More bats, and the lion is overcome. Several probe bats latch onto it, lift it into the air. They merge with it. Talons of the probe bats melting into the body of the mountain lion. They carry it up across the stream, the cat's blood running from its wounds into the water. At the water's edge, still trembling, is the calf. It lets out a final bleat. The stream flows past, the mountain lion's blood staining it red. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Sunlight glares off still water. 3 small fishing boats, Larry, Moe, and Curly, Seattle Registry, swelter in the heat nets which winched up on their booms. Fade-up title, Pacific Ocean, 159:30 latitude, 28 longitude. The engine of the Curly cranks over, will not catch. Black smoke pours from the open engine compartment. The captain of the fleet gestures to cut it.
I'll do it. My dear old ex-wife Sally must have stuck some good deal to God to screw me over royal.
Captain!
Captain!
What's that?
What's that?
The captain looks northwest, squints. A second crewman wears a pair of binoculars around his neck. The captain jerks him over, puts the binocs to his eyes. POV, the captain, through binoculars. On the horizon, the sea has turned to molten silver, sunlight glinting off something, a million bright sparkles racing towards them. The captain's mouth drops open. He lowers the binocs.
Oh, fuck it. Nets in, nets in, nets in, nets in.
That's in.
He leaps to the winch, starts cranking down the net, looks back to the horizon. The sparkles draw closer, shouts from the boat crew as they realize what it is. Fish, millions of them, all swimming toward the southeast, churning through the water, turning it into glittering silver. An Pacific stampede. The boats have nets in the water as the living wave hits. Underwater, all sizes, all varieties of fish slam into the nets. Predator and prey, small and large. They are pressed tight by more fish coming from behind. The net tears in places. Some fish burst through. Above the nets, so taut, filling quickly. The boats are buffeted. They jerk around, yanked along by the momentum of the onslaught of fish, tipping to net side.
Oh, men! She don't go no pull with that good lord after all. Woohoo! Whoop and holler!
The crew, whooping and hollering, haul the nets up, spilling tides of fish, tuna, yellowtail, snapper, some dolphins across the decks. More fish leap aboard their own volition, trying desperately to outrace something. Nets still in the water pull the boats along, the filament screamingly taut. Larry's net rips open, the boat rocking back. On the Curly, the winch creaks, groans, snaps off, takes a crewman over the side. He screams as racing bodies slam into him. The torrent of fish overwhelming him, carrying him under and away. And then, just as quickly as it began, the onslaught is over. The fish are past, disappearing to the southeast. The water's empty, going from silver to blue. The Moe's cruise pulls in a last net full of fish. The Larry's nets hang limp. The decks of all 3 boats are piled high with flopping, squirming fish. And then the crewman spots something to the northwest, the direction the fish came from.
Captain! More fish!
The captain looks. Something else is coming at them, moving fast just beneath the surface. The water is humped, cresting over the huge shape. Godzilla doing 40 knots.
Tidal wave! It's a tidal wave!
Other crewmen see it, pointing, shouting.
Get the engine started. Let's get out of here.
He sees the open engine compartment, tools and parts scattered around, realizes there's no escape.
Sally! You bitch!
The crest of water hits the fleet, tossing the little boats, capsizing the Mo immediately, slamming the Larry and Curly together almost comically. Crewmen go overboard as planks give way and seawater fountains up through the deck. The wake is just as turbulent. Men disappear beneath the white water. The Larry goes belly up. Curly lists 60 degrees. And the fish slide from the deck back into the water, and they swim for it, disappearing into the black depths. Dissolved to interior Arctic outpost communications room, day. A comm officer hands Jill a headset. Aaron right behind her, but pointedly ignored. Marty stands at a water cooler, filling and drinking a cup of water incessantly.
I've got the USS Idaho, part of the rescue team.
Yes, yes. How many ships?
We've got video.
A video screen flashes to life, showing the rescue ship communications room. A young lieutenant speaks into camera.
Must have been at least 3 boats to begin with, I guess. Just pieces now left.
Any eyewitnesses?
Yeah, a couple. Except they don't make any sense.
Suddenly, the audio drops out. The lieutenant is still on screen, his lips moving, but no sound.
We've lost audio. I can patch in through the ham. There'll be a delay.
Do it.
The comm officer is already doing it. Switches are flipped, dials turned, and the audio is back. With the radio audio delayed, the lieutenant's lips don't sync. Our tribute to dubbed Godzilla films of years past.
Son of a bitch.
Boarded the tidal wave. Another described it as a creature, like a dragon. It came up from beneath us, he said.
The audio crackles. Jill looks at Aaron. Could it be?
Too big to be a whale, some say. It had arms and legs. Right now, we're just not sure what we're dealing with.
The audio fades out. The comm officer works to get it back.
Godzilla.
It has to be.
Marty suddenly thinks of something he needs to say. He takes a step toward Aaron and Jill and collapses against the water cooler. Knocks it over. The water bottle bounces, clatters on the floor, completely empty.
Marty! Get a doctor, quick!
Interior, geodesic dome, infirmary, day. Marty is wheeled in, a medic examining him. A nurse applies chemical heat pads to Marty's hands and feet.
I need a glass of water.
Can we get him to better facilities?
Don't worry. We'll handle it.
The nurse tugs away Marty's jacket, gasps, drops the jacket. Marty's shoulders are swollen, his collarbones distended grotesquely. The medic turns, looks. The bones in Marty's shoulders move with a life of their own. They shift, repositioning themselves under Marty's skin. The medic's eyes go wide.
Holy Christ! Once he's stabilized up, let's get him to better facilities.
Exterior, Arctic outpost, airfield, day. Marty, on a stretcher, is loaded into the cargo bay of a C-130. Aaron helps. Behind Marty are yellow canisters, fluid from Godzilla's womb.
So, you think it's really Godzilla? Man, I wish I could see it.
Aaron clasps his hand.
If I meet him, I'll tell him you said hi.
Marty manages a weak smile.
Exit the craft, sir.
Aaron hops down from the cargo bay, looks in. Clothes on. Marty as the cargo door slides shut. The engines whine as they start up. Jill steps up next to Aaron, puts a hand on his shoulder.
It's been sighted again. A direction's been established, and they're predicting a destination.
Where?
Jill turns her head away from the engines. She has to shout over the noise.
San Francisco!
Oh, no.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Aerial view of cruise ship, Majestic, cutting across the sea, wake spread out behind it, deck crowded with tourists. A huge, shadowy shape overtakes the liner, passes beneath it. Godzilla. The liner is rocked by the monster's passage. Dissolve 2, exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, day. Fade up title, Fort Point, San Francisco. The Golden Gate Bridge. Beneath it sits Fort Point. Heavy artillery is being deployed. A state of siege. A jeep pulls up. Jill and Aaron, still dressed for the Arctic, hop out. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. A high-tech command post. Large view screens dominate the room. Admiral Benedek is there, and so is Pike. Jill hurries in, Aaron in her wake.
What is its latest position?
It's 20 miles from the battle group. They'll have it in visual range soon.
Godzilla.
That's what he's calling it.
Godzilla. Godzilla.
Godzilla?
Why don't you two sit over there?
Jill and Aaron look at the chairs, glance at each other.
I'll stand.
I mean, do you think that's enough firepower?
On screen, an aerial view of the Pacific Ocean. A battle group dots the water. 2 destroyers, 2 frigates, 2 attack subs, 2 Blue Ridge-class vessels, 2 Avenger-class warfare ships. Attack helicopters circle the ships.
Don't worry, it'll do the job.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Choppers rise from the deck of a ship. Guns are uncovered, trained on targets. Rocket launchers are locked into position. The submarines, Madison and Lafayette, plow through the waves. Exterior, USS Saratoga, day. A lieutenant approaches the commander who surveys the ocean with binoculars.
Sir, the choppers have spotted it.
Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day.
Message from Saratoga. They've spotted it.
On screen, the view shifts, shows the oncoming monster, a dark shape beneath the water, moving fast. Jill and Aaron look, share almost the same reaction. Part amazement, part fear, part satisfaction. They've both waited a long time, but Jill's fists are clenched, her eyes narrow.
Commander may fire at his discretion.
And now shall hard edge, hard and blade, do battle for the horde.
What's that?
From Beowulf, his speech before he fights the dragon.
Did he win?
Yes, but it cost him his army and his life.
Inspirational.
On screen, POV of a helicopter pilot as his craft skims over water. Interior, first attack helicopter, day. As pilots and co-pilots scan the ocean, they spot Godzilla's dorsals rise and fall, breaking the surface.
Target locked!
Exterior, USS Saratoga, day.
They acquired the target.
Fire!
Oh, let him do the lines.
Interior, first attack helicopter, day, as the pilot fires. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, sky, day. Missiles streak away from the helicopter toward the moving shape. They find their targets. Plumes of water rise up. Another barrage is fired. More explosions. The shape is gone. Interior, first attack helicopter, day.
Son of a bitch! Did we get it?
Who's the co-pilot?
I think
we sank it.
Oh, yeah.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Godzilla erupts from the water directly in the helicopter's path.
Evasive! Evasive!
Carolyn.
Godzilla breathes fire. The flames engulf the cockpit. The helicopter explodes. Exterior, USS Saratoga, day.
What the hell was that?
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The second attack helicopter banks away. Godzilla watches it. It banks to attack. Godzilla dives forward, his arms sweeping up. He grabs the helicopter out of the sky, hurls it away. It skips across the ocean and explodes. Godzilla roars and keeps coming. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. The room is quiet. All are stunned at what just happened.
My God.
What's that thing made of?
Let's open him up and find out.
Order the Mason and the Lafayette the Lafayette to engage.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The Madison and Lafayette submerge. The Avenger-class ships open fire. Missiles arc across the sky, rain down on Godzilla. Explosions all along his back. Godzilla submerges again. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, underwater, day. The Madison moves silently through the water. Interior, Madison, day. The bridge, the crew is crisp, calm.
We have a firing solution, sir.
Janice, your captain.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, underwater, day. Torpedoes away. They lock onto Godzilla, gaining from behind. Impact. The torpedoes detonate, explode on his back fins. A beat. And then Godzilla's head comes around slowly. His eyes lock on the sub. He scowls even more than usual. He's pissed. He twists, reverses direction, charges straight at the sub. Interior, Madison, bridge, day.
It's coming at us.
Surface blow the ballistic tanks.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, underwater, day. As the Madison's ballast tanks evacuate, the sub rises, hard angled for the surface. Godzilla passes through the space the sub occupied seconds before, a bull just missing a matador. Interior, Madison, bridge, day.
Thank the Lord.
Captain, there's something above us. There's no more pray. There's no time for us to pray.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The Madison surfaces, bursting from the water, and rams the second destroyer at midships. A colossal wave washes across the bridge of the Sarasota. The second destroyer is capsized. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, underwater, day. The Lafayette is between Godzilla and the surface. As he swims past, he almost nonchalantly reaches out. His massive claws tear the Lafayette's hull open. Interior, Lafayette, day. As the claws rip through the hull, water spilling in, the crew scramble for emergency stations. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Godzilla surfaces, almost seems to regard the havoc he's caused with pride. He breathes fire, a tongue of flame, nearly white hot, stabs out at the capsized destroyer, hitting it midships. The hull melts. The explosion is spectacular. His path clear, Godzilla continues on his way, leaving behind the battle group. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Jill, Benedek, Pike stare at the screen. Aaron moves on shaky legs to the chair he was offered earlier.
It really does breathe fire.
Contact Air Sea Rescue. Let's get as many of those men back as we can.
Pike stares at the monitor and at Godzilla, still headed for San Francisco.
It's 50 miles from San Francisco. It'll be here in an hour. Our options are limited.
Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Aaron peers at one of the monitors, at a still frame of Godzilla breathing fire. Behind him, Jill, Benedek, and Pike are in conference with several uniformed officials.
God damn it, Pike! If we go nuclear with the winds and currents, even our smallest yield device could irradiate the coast.
And that thing would be dead. Any additional loss of life or property would be acceptable.
Jill looks troubled. She almost agrees with Pike.
You know, he's not breathing fire.
They look over at him. He indicates the monitor.
Look, see the flames start a couple of meters from Godzilla's mouth.
The others join him, peer at the screen.
Looks like you're right, so?
He's exhaling something so hot, it's actually ionizing the oxygen molecules.
Again, so?
Aaron is distracted, an idea trying to break through.
Given Godzilla's size and speed, the amount of energy he expends, he must have a very different metabolism from most large creatures. A body chemistry that would let him eat relatively little and breathe superheated steam. Like a nuclear reactor, a biological fusion reactor.
You've got to be kidding.
No, that's it. I'll bet a year's royalty for my buck that some of that wreckage is radioactive.
The ops officer looks up from her post, startled.
Carol?
That's right.
Oh, yep.
Rescue teams have reported higher than normal radiation counts.
Aaron smiles, nodding.
Well, that's just fascinating, Vought.
Aaron's satisfied smile disappears.
Listen, somehow Godzilla was in that womb for a long time. Something must have functioned like control rods.
And then the light goes on in Jill's eyes.
The fluid.
Yes.
What?
We always assumed the fluid was used for life support, but what if it's not? What if it's actually
an atomic tranquilizer?
Well, that makes it sound a little silly, but yeah.
There were barrels of that stuff on the transport with us.
Yes.
If we can administrate it, it will
maybe even overdose him.
But how do we administer it?
They left the others in the room in the dust.
It's got to be transdermal. He must have absorbed it directly through his skin.
Wait a second. Who's guessing now? He was floating in the stuff. Maybe he has to breathe it for it to be
transdermal. Transdermal. I'll bet you that year's royalties double or nothing.
One problem, people. The delivery system. Are you going to go out there? Are you going to be out there with a hose when Godzilla comes swimming into the bay?
Jill gets a faraway look in her eye.
If it comes to that.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, underwater, day. There is an above-surface splash when something is falling past us in a trail of bubbles. It slows, stops. A depth charge. One of a line extending across an underwater channel, closing it off. We surface. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Medfly spraying helicopters skim above the water. Behind them, the Golden Gate Bridge spans the mouth of the bay. It is jammed with abandoned cars and trucks. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. A truck towing an artillery cannon shoves its way through parked cars, moving the cannon into place. Aaron watches the soldiers prepare it. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. On a TV screen, the Golden Gate Bridge artillery in place, now backdrop to a remote stand-up news report.
The reasons for all the activity are still unknown. There's speculation that a nuclear-powered sub has become disabled in the bay, but again, that's just rumor.
Jill and Benedict watch the report. The reporter is replaced by video of people being evacuated by National Guardsmen.
Communities surrounding the Golden Gate Bridge in the bay have been ordered evacuated.
They've spotted him.
She taps some buttons. On the main screen, a satellite image appears. San Francisco Bay, the Golden Gate Bridge, and Godzilla heading for it.
Start praying.
Praying?
Spraying. Start spraying.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The helicopters begin spraying, coating the water with red-black amniotic fluid. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Pike watches the monitor, cracks his neck.
Come on, you bastard. Where are the depth charges? He should be hitting them.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The water erupts as a charge goes off, then another. Another, a chain of explosions nearing the bridge. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day.
That's better.
Jill speaks into a mic.
Aaron, you ought to get out of there.
Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day.
Sorry, I'm on my way.
But he pauses. Past the spraying helicopters, he can see the explosions from the depth charges. Godzilla is coming.
Any more inspirational words?
It is not strength that always wins, for wit dot strength excels. From the ballad of Dragon and Wait of Wentley.
Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Jill and Benedek exchange a glance.
Not bad.
The depth charges are driving him to the surface.
Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. More charges detonate in sequence, nearing the area the helicopters are spraying. Godzilla breaks the surface with a roar. Interior, spraying helicopter, day.
Oh man, no way.
It's Carolyn.
I'm sorry.
He banks his helicopter. Godzilla is almost directly beneath him. The pilot pulls a lever. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The entire contents of the helicopter's tanks dumps onto Godzilla, a torrent of fluid. Godzilla roars and dives. Charges explode. The others, spraying helicopters, keep up the onslaught, chasing the string of explosions. Godzilla resurfaces, right in the red-black amniotic fluid slick. It coats him as he swims through it. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. An artillery soldier listens to a radio.
We've got the fire order. We've got to keep it in the fluid as long as possible.
Huh. Let's just hope it doesn't piss him off.
The artillery soldier gives him a glance, turns to his job. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Bright orange flashes as the artillery guns on the bridge open fire. Explosions as the shells hit. Godzilla pulls back into the center of the fluid. He slows and cries out, a different sound than his roar, sickly, in pain. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. Aaron frowns. He's still rooted to the spot. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. Godzilla grounds like a cornered animal, then dives. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Lit by the glow of the monitors.
What happened?
Jill and Benedek exchange a glance. Neither ventures a guess. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. Aaron searches the ocean. No sign of Godzilla. Exterior, Pacific Ocean, day. The water is still, the bridge eerily empty of movement. Suddenly, Godzilla erupts from the water. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day. Godzilla clings to the center support of the bridge, visible through the window. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. Aaron stares in shock. Godzilla's head rises over the edge of the bridge, almost staring at Aaron eye to eye. Aaron takes a step back. The artillery crew start running. Interior, Fort Point, Command Center, day.
Aaron, you idiot. Get out of there.
Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. Godzilla bites through several cables. They twang loudly as they snap, and the bridge is wrenched. Aaron starts running, the footing no longer secure, trying to make it past suddenly moving cars. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, day. Jill runs out of the building. She can see Godzilla starting to climb the central pylon. The bridge is jarred. A car falls from it into the bay. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, day. The bridge groans under Godzilla's weight. Godzilla shoves himself through the cabling onto the bridge. Artillery guns fire. Godzilla cries out, sickly. Aaron runs, but the terrain is treacherous. The bridge swings dangerously under Godzilla's weight. Cars fall from it into the bay. Godzilla uses a cable to pull himself to full height. He roars and then collapses, falling forward full onto the bridge. Cables groan, snap. Aaron grabs for a handhold. He swings, is thrown like a rag doll, hangs on. The bridge contorts, sways, but it holds. It is a bizarre, surrealistic image. Godzilla, one arm hanging down, lying still on the Golden Gate Bridge. On the bridge, Aaron continues to clutch his handhold. His radio crackles.
Aaron, are you all right?
I'm fumbling.
Sorry, I was reading your on-screen message. Godzilla lies before him, vanquished.
What a great bridge.
Interior church traveler morning, well attended with townfolk. The waitress from the diner sits in the front pew. Colored light from a huge stained glass window backlights the reverend. Gray hair, very distinguished, very fire and brimstone, and really wailing.
His breath kindled coals, and a flame goeth out his mouth. He marketh the deep to boil. When he raiseth himself up, the mighty are afraid. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot behold.
The two ranch hands, John and Stu, last seen in the Reign of Frogs, sit in a pew in the back. They look out of place, but both listen raptly as the Reverend continues. Unconsciously, Stu shakes a cigarette out of a pack, puts it in his mouth.
You can't smoke in here.
Stu looks abashed. They speak in whispers.
Been a while since I've seen the insides of a church.
Yeah, well, I figure better safe than sorry.
That is the description of the Leviathan as given to us in Job.
Stu is stricken by a coughing attack, a wet smoker's hack. The Reverend notices. John, embarrassed, edges away from Stu.
I see some new faces today. Welcome. In times of trouble, the house of the Lord is indeed a refuge.
Stu, trying to stifle himself, rises from the pew. John shakes his head in disgust.
Those things are gonna kill you someday.
Exterior church, Traveler, Utah, morning. Stu exits, still coughing. The church is a white painted wood box, fairly secluded, tucked into a tree-covered hillside. The pickup truck is parked outside. Stu notices the border collie whimpering, tied by a leash to the truck. The leash is taut as the collie digs his legs, trying to get away.
What's the matter, boy? Afraid of getting worse?
A mighty pull and the collie's head slips out of its collar, runs off. Stu curses, chases after it. Interior, church, Traveler, Utah, morning.
Now, why is the Lord telling Job this? The Lord is describing wonders that Job is incapable of understanding.
A loud thump, as if something heavy has hit the roof. Eyes are raised as people scan the ceiling. The Reverend ignores it, preaching harder, trying to keep their attention.
So Job will realize divine omnipotence and repent.
Now there are ominous scrabbling sounds, as if several heavy bugs are crawling across the roof. Nervous murmurs in the congregation.
The Lord goes on to describe a second creature, the behemoth.
Several parishioners shush the Reverend. To his surprise, the waitress stands up, panic in her voice.
It's another plague. Locusts or hell, just like the frogs. Look, the window.
The Reverend turns. Behind him, the stained glass window has been darkened by a shadow. The shadow moves, shrinking, resolving for just a moment into the shape of a flying bat. And then the stained glass window shatters as the giant probe bat crashes through, colored fragments flying. Screams in the church and pandemonium. Above, sections of the roof are peeled away and probe bats drop down. John in the back is first to the doors. He pulls them open and is face to face with a giant probe bat. It spreads its wings and screeches. Other churchgoers, panicking, stampede out, pushing John into the creature's claws. Exterior, church, Traveler, Utah, morning. Stu drags the collie by the scruff of its neck. It fights him every step of the way. Stu glances up and gasps. He lets go of the collie. It bolts away. What Stu sees, the church crawling with giant probe bats. One of them lifts off from the torn roof, carrying a body. Another sits on the pickup truck, a dark sentry. It notices Stu, spreads its wings, lifts off. Stu runs. Exterior, Utah, woods, morning. Luck leads Stu into a stand of trees, cutting him off from the pursuing probe bat. Aerial view, POV probe bat as Stu races beneath the trees. Stu stumbles, falls down an embankment, rolls over and over, hits the bottom of the ravine, spots a narrow overhang, climbs into it. Eyes wide, Stu waits, frozen, holding his breath, terrified. A screech comes, then a scrabbling sound. A probe bat has landed directly above the overhang. It hunts, scanning, listening. Suddenly, Stu coughs. A smoker's wet hack. Stu slaps a hand over his mouth, stifling the cough, but he knows. He glances up. The probe bat stares down at him from the overhang, grinning. Exterior, Utah, woods, morning. Stu's scream echoes through the woods, is suddenly cut off. Exterior, church, Traveler, Utah, day. A jeep driven by Nelson Fleer comes to stop on the road near the church. It is laden with gear, tents, prospecting tools, dive tanks. Fleer steps out, sees the waitress stumbling toward him. Beyond her, the church roof is partly torn off. Wood and bodies are strewn. Fleer hurries to the waitress. She collapses in his arms. Exterior, church, Traveler, Utah, day. Ambulance lights flash. Bodies are covered, carried away. The sheriff has a map spread out on the hood of his cruiser.
Clear, over here.
Fleer squeezes the waitress's hand, leaves her in the care of an ambulance medic. The sheriff gestures to the map.
Right now, we're assuming a tornado. I need you to round up the other guides, conduct a search in the area. The bodies have to come down somewhere.
Fleer nods.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead, please. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't see yours.
that's right. Fleer nods towards the waitress.
Deborah's going on about some kind of giant bat.
Lots of debris swirling around a tornado. It's characteristic. Could have been stuff looked like flying goddamn elephants.
Fleer nods, moves away. The sheriff turns, sadly takes in the scene. Bodies, ambulance, ruined church. He sighs.
What hath God wrought?
And as if to answer to, we cut to interior bat cavern day. The probe bats swoop down the cave, carrying bodies, some human, some animals. They move towards a translucent mass at the center. It's huge, crowding the cavern. The probe bats are tiny flies buzzing around it. Probe bats land on the mass. The human and animal bodies dissolve, absorbed into the mass. Some of the probe bats merge as well. Parts of the mass shift, the giant claw opening and closing. The larger picture falling into shape. And we see this mass has hunched an ominous animal shape. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point Day. Jill spots Benedict and Pike leaving the building. An argument in progress. Pike making this case.
And this is on your authority?
It's on the president's authority.
What do they recommend?
Benedict can't meet her angry gaze.
It's a one-of-a-kind life form. They want to keep it alive.
No. God damn it, no! We kill it! That's our mission!
Can kill it later.
That is his last word. He strides away. Jill turns, stares at Godzilla on the bridge, her jaw tight.
Happens. I agree with you, Doctor.
Small comfort.
Exterior, various media reports. Series of shots. Handheld video cameras following Benedict as reporters shoves mics into his face.
Hearts go out to the families of the brave men and women lost in the battle with Godzilla.
Godzilla, is that the one I or two? A shot of a newscaster, a video square over his shoulders shows Aaron in the crowd, people shoving copies of his book.
London gold shot up over $200 an ounce, attributed to the appearance of the San Francisco Monster.
Shot of Jill, striding past reporters, mics jammed in her face. She holds her anger back barely.
What do I think? I think they should transport it into the middle of the desert.
Interior, Fort Tassacola Cafeteria Day. Tina carries a tray into the dining area. People are clustered around a television mounted on the wall watching Jill speak.
shove a nuclear bomb down its throat and blow it up.
The reporter turns away from her. Reporter
That's
number...
Dr. Lewick, who has been credited with the capturing of the creature, which we are told first appeared in the Arctic Sea.
Tina's eyes go wide. Reporter 1.
And may have been responsible for the loss of an expedition team there early last year.
Tina sits slowly, the tray in her lap. On screen behind the reporter, several flying crane helicopters buzz above the bridge. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge day. The helicopters drop to above Godzilla. A fire truck sprays dark antibiotic fluid into Godzilla's skin. Back to video, as a silver tank the size of a railroad car is lowered via helicopter into the back of Godzilla's neck.
I'm sold is a device that administers the fluid, keeping the creature sedated, if you will.
The crew guides the device into place. Huge hydraulic clamps close, lock into Godzilla. Exterior, Golden Gate Bridge, Fort Point, day. On Jill, there is a roar from the crowd gathered on the south end of the bridge. Jill turns as the roar becomes a cheer. She watches the 4 flying crane helicopters strain at cables attached to Godzilla, lifting him into the air. Above the bridge, the crowd slowly wild. Back to video. A local reporter, shirt untucked, does a hurried stand-up. A wobbly zoom to the horizon where tiny Godzilla moves past, suspended by cables from the horizon. A bizarre Macy's New Year's Day parade balloon. And local reporter.
Unconfirmed reports of gunfire near the Nevada border. Apparently, some folks are taking pot shots at a creature.
A shot of a local newscaster, a Godzilla over Utah graphic over his left shoulder.
Has been instructed to route the creature away from all the inhabited areas. The FAA...
Shots of large crowd partying, waving signs. A banner reads, "Boulder welcomes Godzilla." A reporter finishes her stand-up. 2 boys near her waiting to be interviewed.
No word yet as to the creature's intended final destination. Tell us, when you saw Godzilla, were you scared?
Oh, I wasn't scared.
Scared? It was going to...
Oh, who's that? Somebody say it.
It's
scared it was going to poop on us.
The 2 crack up. Interior Hospital, Intensive Care Wing, hallway night. Fade up title, Fort Tuscala Base Hospital. Ed escorts Aaron moving along briskly. How is he, Ed? Janice?
Not good. We brought it in, specialists from Johns Hopkins. We're doing all we can, but...
He stops at a doorway and pauses.
Be prepared. His appearance may be a shock. Don't dwell on it.
Interior Hospital, Intensive Care Room night. Aaron and Ed enter. Marty's figure is obscured, monitoring equipment. A surgeon reads, fluoroscope screen. The real-time video shows a full body of X-ray of Marty, his heart beating in a shadowy, rhythmic blur.
Oh, Christ. He's changed further.
On screen, there's large movement, a shift of internal organ. Marty's liver, whatever it is, it shouldn't be moving.
All of the large intestine is gone, along with the exocrine tissue of the pancreas. The material was used here in restructuring the chest cavity.
He indicates to Marty's chest. A spider in his chest.
Body functions necessary to immediate survival aren't effective. Everything else is fair game.
Impossible.
Apparently not. The infection is re-scripting his DNA. And as it changes, he changes.
Sorry, changes into what? The surgeon shrugs. Aaron approaches the bed. He wears a not very convincing smile. He gets closer and gasps. Marty has no eyes. His skull is elongated. His jaw shrunken. His ears have merged onto the side of his head. His clavicle and shoulders have tilted, forming a productive collar around his neck. But most discerning is a flat, featureless, expanse of his skin from forehead to mouth.
Who's there?
Marty's voice is groggy, weak. Aaron swallows.
Marty, we got him. We got Godzilla.
Is he dead?
No, he's sick, but alive.
Oh, like me.
Actually, he looks a little better than you.
Marty smiles. Aaron looks away.
Aaron, I've had dreams about Godzilla.
Aaron forces himself to look back.
Yeah?
Keep wondering, why now? Why show up now? What set the womb off? The interference? What is he trying to do?
Marty lifts up, turns his eyeless face, searching for Aaron.
You have to find out.
Aaron takes Marty's hand, grips it.
I need to stay here.
Marty shakes his head.
No, please. I can feel what's happening to me.
Aaron looks at his friend, anguished.
I can't.
You have to find out. You need to keep looking. I've been having dreams. Remember Emperor Kuoko?
Aaron frowns, remembering, then nods.
Find. Keep looking.
Marty's features relax. His grip loosens. His breathing becomes regular. Ed appears behind Aaron, pulls him away. Near the door, Aaron stops, sighs heavily, gazes at Marty's sleeping form.
Goodbye, Marty.
Aaron looks at his friend one last time, then turns away. Exterior, Fort Tuscarora, holding tank building, day. Jill strides along the length of a huge structure. An Air Force engineer falls in with her, tries to keep up.
I'm real sorry about the tail.
Tail?
See, the information I had said the creature was 250 feet tall. They didn't tell me about a tail. So there was no way for me to know.
Know what?
Well, that it wouldn't fit.
Come to the corner of the structure. Jill pulls up short. Incongruously sticking out through the massive door, on one end is Godzilla's tail. Workers string police line, do not cross tape around it. Interior, St. George Project, holding tank, day. Jill enters, stares at Godzilla laying on his side, mostly submerged in the tank. An awesome sight. Close by is the too long tail. In the distance, Godzilla's head lies above the water's surface. Technicians scurry about a control center which monitors Godzilla's vital signs.
Technician.
Power up the ground.
Jill watches darkly as switches are pulled, huge generators rumble to life. Several huge metal grids lower from the ceiling, down to just above Godzilla. Electricity crackles across them, a loud clang echoes in the structure as it locks into place, trapping Godzilla in the tank. Jill turns away, angry. Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day. Jill walks in. Beyond the glass wall, Godzilla slumbers. There is much busyness in the room. The main monitor map has been changed. It now shows Godzilla's projected route as a line across the United States. Jill scowls. She spots Aaron talking to Ed, who sits at a keyboard. She strides toward them.
Here's a match. Modesto, California. A pair of 26-year-old twins met their first time Friday, despite having lived their whole life within 100 miles of each other.
No, keep looking.
What's going on here? Who authorized this?
Ed looks away sheepishly. A caught kid. Aaron is only a little abashed. A little less abashed.
It was me. I did it.
You did?
I'm sorry if I overstepped my boundaries, but Marty said something that got me thinking. Do you know the myth of Kyoko?
Jill crosses her arms, stares at him.
You've co-opted my people and my department on the basis of one of your fractured fairy tales?
Listen, okay. Kyoku was a mighty ruler with a vast kingdom. You know, the usual. One night, the sparrow came to him in a dream. It told him one of his wives was pregnant. Except it wasn't his child. His wife would give birth to a monster with the power to destroy him, his kingdom, and the world.
Watch it to cancer. A hole in one is rare. 3 consecutive acres on the same hole, almost impossible.
Keep looking. So anyway, Kyoku journeyed to the land without light to kill the monster before he could be born.
That's a lovely story. What does that have to do with us?
Did I mention that Kyoko was a dragon? What Marty meant, I think, was to find out where Godzilla was headed.
What?
Aaron points up at the map.
Godzilla was moving in a straight line like he had a purpose. We just projected his route and started looking along the line for reports of strange phenomenons and occurrences. And then...
You think he had a purpose? That there's some reason for...
Why now? Why did Godzilla show up now? He might not be an isolated incident.
You don't think we should kill him, do you? Do you?
They stare at each other. Ed lets out a low whistle, drawing their attention.
Holy cow! Listen to this, travelers. Utah, 3 stories. Additional cattle mutilations discovered. Oh, church destroyed in freak accidents.
Aaron leans forward.
Strange lights reported in the skies over 6 countries.
That's it. Utah. I think if Godzilla does have a purpose, that's where we're going to find it. This guess, I wouldn't mind being wrong.
A beat, and then he exits. Jill turns to look through the glass at Godzilla.
Is it possible?
Then she starts. She has spotted a familiar figure in a white smock. Tina, looking very small, staring up into the face of the monster. Interior, St. George Project, holding tank, day. We hear the distinctive beating of Godzilla's heart. Tina stares, transfixed. Jill grabs her shoulder.
Tina, how did you get in here?
Tina indicates the clearance badges pinned to her white smock, but Jill is taken aback by the tears glistening on Tina's cheeks, and the resigned, serene set to her features. Tina nods towards Godzilla.
Susan. Yep.
This is what killed Dad?
Yes.
This is what your job was, finding it?
Yes. Killing it.
Tina looks at Jill.
Why? What's the point?
Jill is surprised by the question. It should be obvious.
I mean, look at it. It's killed hundreds of people. It killed your father. Isn't that enough?
My God, Mom. You look at it. Look at its scale. I bet it didn't even notice Dad. Except as maybe a little wet spot on the bottom of its foot.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Don't you say that. I know. You lost Dad. I lost you both.
Jill turns away. Anger, remorse, grief, war on her face. She's close to tears, but an act of will puts a stop to it.
You shouldn't be here. It's not safe. I spoke to Aunt Julia. She's out of town. but she said you could stay at her apartment in New York.
Tina gapes at her. She reaches a hand towards Jill, drops it before the contact is made.
Fine. I'm gone.
She strides out, leaving Jill alone. Jill wipes at her eyes, brushing away any tears that may have begun. Back in control, she looks up at Godzilla. In the water, the monster shifts slightly, and a small, mournful sound escapes from his throat. Exterior, Traveler, Utah, diner, day. Aaron steps out of his rental car, takes in the small town. He heads to the diner, and suddenly the waitress appears in front of him.
God is merciful, but the day of this wrath is come. Who shall be able to stand?
Yeah, Jesus wept. Yada yada.
He hurries past her into interior, Traveler, Utah, diner, day. Aaron sits at the counter near Fleer, picks up a menu. The sheriff gives Aaron the once-over.
If you're a reporter or gawker, we don't need you here.
A little apprehensive, Aaron hands over his ID badge. The sheriff studies it.
I'm with the government. So, what's there to gawk at?
Fleer.
Fleer?
You can't take it. You can't.
Nope, that's Fleer's here. Sorry, waitress. Come back, Fleer.
What page are we on?
Yes.
What page are we on? 102?
102.
Huh. You can take your pick. We've got cattle mutilations. A church's been tore up.
Suddenly, the waitress is there, close to Aaron's ear.
If God's judgment and the light in the sky that has his terrible sword.
Aaron turns towards her, encouraging her.
There were lights in the sky?
Then came the frogs. That was our warning. A plague of frogs, like Moses, visited upon the Pharaoh.
She looks around, heads for a stack of newspapers. The sheriff hands Aaron back his ID and sighs.
Sure getting tired of her saying visited upon.
Frogs.
Yeah, well, it rained frogs.
Weird shit.
See? They're the only ones willing to print it.
She thrusts a tabloid newspaper at Aaron. We get a brief glimpse of the cover. Cop tips waitress $2 million. Inside, a photo of John and Stu holding buckets of frogs. Headline reads, Town destroyed by frogs. Biblical retribution?
It is the end of the millennium, and the apocalypse is near. The wicked and just will do battle.
Aaron doesn't listen. He's thinking, figuring something out.
Hey, is there a lake around here? Like fairly isolated. Not a lot of visitors, but nearby. Stay within 15 miles.
Fleer and the sheriff look at each other.
Sounds like you're talking about Lake Apopka.
Lake Apopka. How do I get there?
You don't. Not in that car. No roads.
Aaron glances out the window, spots Fleer's Jeep and Fleer's sign across the street.
Hey, you're Nelson Fleer? Can I hire you as a guide?
Government man. You're those guys who pay $500 for a screwdriver, right? Yeah, we can work something out.
Exterior, Traveler, Utah day. Fleer's Jeep takes off, Aaron hanging on for dear life. The sheriff shakes his head, watching as it leaves.
Government man. Shit. What's next for this town?
Fire and brimstone and the wrath of God.
She crosses herself. The sheriff scowls at her, worried. Interior, hospital, intensive care room, day. At an x-ray screen, the surgeon confers with Benedek.
Circulatory system is on the verge of collapse. It simply may not be a viable life form.
What can you do?
They move back toward the bed where an anesthesiologist and nurse prepare instruments.
The immediate threat is liquid creating pressure on the brainstem. We have to drain it.
Benedict considers.
Do it.
A hand, more like a claw, now grabs Benedict's wrist.
Wait.
Benedict stares down at Marty, who is now more alien than human. He has eyes again, huge ebony orbs that seem to have erupted from beneath his skin. His head is disfigured. He is growing an exoskeleton. His nose is just 2 slits.
There is a reason. Bring Llewellyn.
Marty's voice isn't his voice anymore. It hisses from deep in his throat. Rhythm, inflection, tone are all gone. Frightened, the surgeon backs away. He knocks over the instrument tray. Instruments clatter to the floor. Interior, hospital, intensive care room, day. Jill hurries in, moves to Benedict's side, looks at Marty.
Has he said anything else?
Few words. This is going to sound crazy, but I don't know if it's him speaking or it.
It?
The thing he's turning into.
I need to talk to him. It. Whatever.
Jill moves to the bed, touches Marty's shoulder.
Marty, can you hear me?
Marty's huge new eyes focus on her. His face contorts. An incredible effort, an incredible strain for one word.
Danger.
What kind of danger?
Again, Marty's body contorts. Then it's as if something just gives up. Marty's face relaxes. His expression is calm, serene, suddenly.
Dr. Llewellyn, is that you?
Yes. You can call me Jill.
It doesn't know words yet, so I have to talk.
Marty, are you in pain?
No. It's amazing. Jill, I see an infrared now, I think.
The surgeon checks the cardiograph monitor, frowns.
He's in a brachial cardial state. He's weakening.
Jill takes Marty's hand claw.
It said the word danger.
Marty pauses as if listening, and then...
Aliens. Spreading through the stars, destroying worlds.
Stunned silence in the room.
There was a time that would have sounded crazy.
How, Marty?
Alien probe lands on a world, creates a beast out of the genetic material of that world, designed to kill.
Godzilla is an alien?
Marty's face and body contract. His voice is a low hiss.
No, not Godzilla. Another.
Another?
An alien creature.
Marty's features relax.
A doomsday beast is created. It reproduces, destroys, wipes out dominant life forms. Later, the aliens come to a planet already conquered.
Jill leans forward.
One is coming here. That's the danger? When will it arrive?
Extreme close-up, Marty's face, black eyes staring blankly.
It's already here.
Exterior, Utah, rough terrain, day. Fleer's truck bounces up a steep rise, Aaron hanging on.
So, what are you thinking happened there?
I think the lights in the sky were caused by a meteor. It drops through the atmosphere. Friction superheats it to about 1,000 degrees, centigrade. It hits the water, and the water boils instantly. The steam evacuates up. Cold air rushes in, forms a water spout, which sucks up everything around it.
And then 10 miles away, it rains frogs and fish.
They reach the top of the rise, pull to a stop, look out, wide shot, Lake Apopka, or what is left of it, the epicenter of a huge explosive force. Trees snap like twigs, bent backward out from the lake, mud and dying moss surround it, the water level half what it should be. Fleer stares, surveying the damage with awe. Aaron gazes speculatively at the lake.
Can we go in there?
How's that?
Well, what I'm looking for might just be in there.
Fleer smiles, hops out of the Jeep, grabs one of the tanks.
Underwater. Imagine that. There's a rate jump from the wilderness guide to dive expedition leader. Big jump.
Interior, hospital, intensive care room, day. Jill knows time may be short. She hurries her question.
Marty, this creature you are becoming, where did it come from?
Civilization. Old from the stars. Gone now. Earth had 3 moons then. Huh. Pretty.
What was it called? Atlantis? Lemuria? Mu?
Suddenly the thing speaks through Marty.
We need words. Needed to warn you. Did not know what form life would take.
Jill gets a look of understanding, even amazement.
So they created a virus that would reprogram DNA and transform RNA. Amazing.
They made one of theirs out of one of ours.
Marty's body spasms. On the cardiograph, Marty's heart is a weak flutter. The surgeon turns to Jill.
Dr. Llewellyn, we're losing him.
Jill leans close to Marty.
Marty, can you tell us what is Godzilla?
He left it in stasis, created from dinosaur genetic template. Alien probe would awaken it.
How do we kill it?
Godzilla will kill it before it reproduces.
No, not the beast. How do we kill Godzilla?
Can't kill Godzilla.
Marty loses consciousness. The EKG stops beeping, flatlines.
Crash cart, code blue.
Nurses, the surgeon move in, try to resuscitate Marty. The monitor stays flatline. Jill rises, stands back away from the flurry of activity around Marty, stunned by his final words.
Earth had 3 moons then. Huh. Pretty.
What was it called? Atlantis? Lemuria? Mu?
We needed words. Needed to warn you. Did not know what form life would take.
I'm sorry, is this just repeating?
Oh no.
It's like a flashback, right?
Is it a flashback?
Oh.
It's not. It goes all the way through the crash cart.
Wait. Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go. Got it.
Okay.
1:15. Exterior, Utah, Lake Apopka.
Am I dead?
Day.
Wait.
Am I dead? I'm dead, right? What's
Wait. Lake Apopka? Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Sorry
It's just
about that.
No, you good. Fleer and Aaron in the water adjust their diving equipment. Fleer watches Aaron measuring him.
So, done much diving?
Some at Club Med once.
Well, this is nothing like that. In cave diving, you're going to go into an absolute pitch dark. There are weird currents and sharp rocks.
Aaron nods. Fleer clips safety line, flashlight, slate, and pencil onto his belt.
Okay, try not to panic. You don't want to be the kid who sucked his mouthpiece into his throat trying to get the last cubic centimeter of air.
They back their way into the water.
If cave diving is so dangerous, why do you do it?
Fleer sets his dive watch, fits his mask.
It's better than the ocean. There you got eels and squid and jellyfish. Ugh, too much weird shit.
He sinks down backwards into the water. Aaron follows. Exterior, Lake Apopka, underwater, day. Fleer and Aaron swim through flickering shafts of sunlight. Discharged air bubbles glitter, swirl around toward the surface. The cave opening looms ahead. They follow their flashlight beams into darkness. Fleer, in the lead, spots something. Ahead, the cave narrows into a tight bottleneck. Fleer pulls out a packet of red dye and breaks it. The bright-colored dye moves steadily away from the opening, indicating a current. Fleer gives Aaron a thumbs-up sign. He ties his safety line to a rock outcropping, then removes his tank. Aaron looks at him incredulously, still breathing through the regulator. Fleer shoves his tank through the bottleneck. He then squirms through after it. Aaron can't believe it. Slowly, he removes his own tank, pushes it through ahead of him, following Fleer. Interior, cave system, underwater, day. POV, Aaron through his dive mask, the narrow angle increasing the sense of claustrophobia. We hear his breathing slow and steady as he moves past limestone walls. The walls give way. Aaron and Fleer emerge into open water. Fleer glances up, sees the surface above, grins, motions to Aaron, swims upward. Suddenly, shockingly, coming straight at him, bright in the light of his flashlight, is the mountain lion. Fleer freaks out, flails his arms, legs, trying to get away. The mountain lion approaches, fangs bared in a perpetual snarl, then floats serenely past, suspended in the water, moved by the current. It spins, caught in an eddy. We see it's pretty well torn up. A paw and some of its torso are still connected to the head, but most of the body is gone. Fleer recovers, calms himself. Aaron taps him on the shoulder. Fleer holds up his hand. He's okay. He scribbles on his slate, holds it up to Aaron. It says, rate doubled. Interior, cave system, bat cavern, day. Aaron breaks the surface of the underground lake. Fleer is already climbing out of the water. He yanks off his mask.
Oh boy. Goddamn, what was that doing in there? I don't need that shit in my life.
He squirms out of his tank. Aaron climbs out of the water.
Oops.
Yeah. And what's that fucking smell? Excuse me. I don't know how you feel about this.
Aaron examines the limestone cavern. Most is obscured by darkness. In one corner, a waterfall splashes down. Aaron spots something, moves towards it.
Over here.
It is the mutilated remains of a cow. Aaron crouches next to it. Fleer stares. Now he's seen it all.
A cow?
There's not just physical damage. It looks like a chemical deterioration as well.
A sudden disorienting shift. POV looking down at Aaron and Fleer from out of a crevice, watching them.
Something must have dragged it in here. The mountain lion?
The thing above them shifts, then leaps forward, swooping down toward them.
Maybe whatever got the mountain lion.
Fleer jumps. Swooping past are several small dark shapes, bats, just normal-sized bats, providing a false scare. Fleer waves at them, cursing, shooing them away. Aaron ignores the bats, glances around the chamber, spots something, frowns.
My God.
Whoa, what?
He looks towards where Aaron is looking. 30 feet away is what seems to be a unique rock formation, a giant claw as big as a house. Aaron climbs a boulder to get a better view, reaches the top. Fleer follows. Beyond them, we see the claw as part of a huge forearm, which is part of a massive, hunched animal shape filling the cavern. The griffin. Huge, magnificent, horrible. A nightmare waiting to be born. Leathery, blood-red wings like a bat. The body of a mountain lion. It resembles the mythical griffin, as in Junji's drawings. This is what the huge bat probe creatures created by merging. None are left to be seen. Aaron and Fleer are ants before it.
The Belmont. Oh, the behemoth. The behemoth.
Yeah, I feel like the Belmont is like a hotel or something. Okay.
Aaron takes an emergency flare from Fleer's belt, lights it. Bright light fills the cavern, chasing the shadows. Smoke drifts up from the flare. High above, the griffin's nose twitches. It scowls, eyes still closed. Aaron holds the flare high. They turn slightly as they look up, taking the creature in. Behind them, they do not see as the giant claw clutches.
Oh, it's not alive. Nothing that big could be alive. Oh, shit. It goes all the way up to the ceiling.
Wait, that's not a ceiling. Those are wings.
The turn back toward the huge claws. It clutches again.
Shit, it's alive!
Fleer grabs the flare from Aaron, drops it, stomps on it. It still burns. Cursing, he stomps some more, extinguishing it. Too late. The giant monster shifts, moves. Walls of the cavern split. Huge chunks of rock fall. Aaron and Fleer scramble back toward the lake, grab up their gear. The griffin lets out a bone-jarring scream. Fleer looks over his shoulder, sees inside its mouth.
Oh God! It's got snakes! It's got snakes for a tongue!
And it does. Many snakes, a hydra-headed thing squirming where the tongue should be. Its eyes glow yellow in the darkness, reflecting light like a cat's eyes. Fleer and Aaron leap into the pool. Interior cave system underwater, day. Aaron and Fleer plunge in. A snake head darts into the water, snapping blindly. Aaron twists away, avoids getting bitten in half. The snake head withdraws. Fleer finds the safety line. They pull themselves along. We hear the sound of breathing loud and fast through the regulators. They reach the bottleneck. Muffled roars of the griffin can be heard. Fleer and Aaron snake out of their tanks. In the cave, one of the griffin's claws slams down into the underground lake. Water surges. Fleer slams into the rock wall, loses hold of his regulator. He swims into the bottleneck. Aaron takes a last breath from his regulator, lets go of his equipment, follows Fleer through the narrow opening. Exterior, Lake Apopka underwater, day. Fleer shoots through the circular opening, followed by Aaron. They swim for the daylight. Exterior, Utah, Lake Apopka, day. Fleer and Aaron break the surface, gasping for air. Suddenly the earth trembles, then shakes. Beyond a rise, concessive force blasts dirt and boulders into the sky. Aaron and Fleer swim, stagger up onto the shore. Beyond them, the griffin stands, rises to its full height above the trees. The nightmare has been born. It shakes off rocks and debris. Its skin is smooth and slick. It blinks in the sun, screams its ear-splitting scream. Interior, St. George Project, holding tank, day. The scream echoes, fades. Soldiers and technicians go about their tasks. A few yards from Godzilla's jaw, a foreman and surveyor use ultrasound equipment to scan Godzilla. On a small table, a styrofoam cup blows over and spills. The surveyor notices, looks at the foreman accusingly.
Hey, okay.
Oh, the surveyor.
I'm foreman. I messed up.
Hey, thanks for spilling my coffee.
Huh, not me.
They do not notice as flat lines on the monitor are interrupted with tiny spikes.
Yeah, you did. Look.
They look at the cup just as it leaps completely off the table. They look at each other, puzzled. A beat, and then the entire table overturns in a blast of wind. The two look towards Godzilla's jaws.
Oh, shit. It's awake.
Okay, let's give it some room.
A low growl from deep in Godzilla's throat. Technicians immediately drop their equipment. Run. Godzilla twists, turns. Water sloshes over the tank, knocking a fleeing soldier off his feet. Godzilla rises up. Huge sparks, bolts of electricity shoot across him as he makes contact with the metal grid above. Godzilla falls back, trapped. There is an anguished, angry roar. Exterior, Utah, near Lake Apopka, day. Fleer and Aaron crouch behind a tree. They break cover, flee uphill toward Fleer's jeep. Looming over the lake, the griffin opens its wings and screams, snake tongue writhing. Energy builds up along its wings, shoots out, a deadly energy bolt. A tree near the jeep explodes as Aaron and Fleer dive in. Exterior, Utah, day. The jeep bounces along, Aaron driving. Fleer looks back. The griffin rises up into the sky. Its giant leathern wings spread wide, blotting out the sun.
Oh shit! It can fly!
Hang on!
Aaron swerves the jeep hard onto a 2-lane road. Nearly rolls it. In the distance is a railroad overpass. Griffin's POV. Above the jeep, gaining on it, the jeep disappears under the overpass, appears on the other side. Energy bolts shoot out, and the jeep explodes spectacularly. Exterior, Utah, beneath the overpass, day. In the dark shade of the overpass, Aaron gets to his feet, dusts himself off. Fleer sits there, staring at his ruined, burning jeep, and the griffin swooping off into the sky.
Let me guess. You just finished paying it off?
Exterior, Traveler, Utah, gas station, day. A balding tourist, his family, and a station wagon does that funny little dance you do trying to get the gas hose untangled. He succeeds only in making it more twisted. In his struggles, he does not notice the surrealistic sight behind him. In the distance, coming over a rise in the road, is the griffin, down on all fours, stalking toward town, slinking along like a cat. In the station wagon, a tourist kid notices the creature. His eyes widen. He hurriedly searches for something inside a bag, rummages desperately, finally pulls out a video camera. He switches it on, aims it at the griffin, just as the griffin pounces onto a roadside bait shop, smashing it. The tourist turns, sees the creature, drops the gas hose, dives into the station wagon. The griffin screams. Exterior, Traveler, Utah, cafe, day. The waitress in front of the cafe freezes at the sound of the scream. The sheriff exits the cafe, stops, staring past her, a look of horror on his face. She turns slowly to see the griffin rising to full height over the town. The tourist station wagon fleeing before it. A panel truck going the other way slams on its brakes. The griffin paws at it. The truck is hit with such force it stands up, spins on one corner of the chassis. The sheriff rushes past the waitress.
In the truck, hurry!
But the waitress doesn't move. At the other end of town, the griffin glances around, spots something. The above-ground gas storage tank near the gas station. Next to it is a large propane tank. The griffin crouches. Energy beams shoot out, and the tanks explode.
Come on!
But the waitress chooses to run down the center of the street. The sheriff dives into the cab. The griffin beats its wings, fanning the fire. A wave of flaming gasoline rolls across Traveler. The waitress is engulfed in flames. She continues to run a few steps, burning, then falls to the ground. Satisfied, the griffin takes to the air, leaving the ruins of the town behind. Dissolved to exterior, Traveler, Utah, day, later. Ruined, destroyed. Aaron and Fleer hurry up the road. Slow as they survey the devastation, Fleer is near tears. Aaron approaches the dazed sheriff, sitting in the burned porch of the cafe.
Is it still alive? Where'd it go?
It's gone. It took off. That way.
East? Shit. I need your truck.
The sheriff nods. Aaron moves towards the truck to Fleer.
Come on, there's a jet waiting. I've got to get back to the project. You coming?
Fleer is incredulous.
You're gonna go up in the air with that thing.
You want to take your chances on the ground?
Fleer glances around at the ruined town.
All right.
Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day. Pandemonium. Jill, Benedek, present. Godzilla's roars can be heard. Ed rushes in from the holding tank.
Janice.
I'm sorry. Can somebody do it?
The fluid isn't working. It's just the grid holding up him.
To one side, a techie monitors channels. A special bulletin flashes on. The comm officer stares, turns to Jill.
Doctor, I've got a broadcast here, local news.
On screen, the shaky, handheld image of the griffin shot by the tourist kid through back window of the station wagon.
Doctor, seems to be another creature.
What?
All eyes turn to the screen. Camera bounces wildly, settles on the griffin as it fires. The gas tank explodes. Horribly, we are to re-witness the scenes of the traveler's destruction. The griffin fans the flames, and we see the waitress burn, drop to the ground.
Jesus.
Aaron Vaughn is reporting in.
Jill gestures to hear it on the main speaker. The jet's turbines can be heard. They are in flight.
Creature has wings like a bat, body of a lion, like the mythical griffin. It could fire what seems to be electric bolts.
God damn eel!
Aaron, Jill here. Where is it headed?
Interior, jet, cockpit, in-flight, day. Aaron sits in the co-pilot's seat. Through his window in the distance is the griffin. Aaron watches it as the jet overtakes, passes it.
It's heading east. Jill, I think it's coming towards you. I think.
Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day. Everyone knows what this means.
It's coming to kill Godzilla.
As if in answer, Godzilla roars, vibrating the entire structure. Exterior, Fort Tuscarora holding tank structure, day. Godzilla's huge tail whips back and forth dangerously near the base power station. With the next whip, Godzilla's tail hits the station. There is a shower of sparks, and then the power station explodes. Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day. Alarms sound loudly. The lights go out. Only the monitors stay lit. Emergency lights come on.
Uh-oh.
Interior, St. George Project, holding tank, day. Godzilla roars. Exterior, Fort Tuscarora, holding tank structure, day. With a thundering, ripping sound, Godzilla rises, crashing straight up through the roof of the structure. Part of the roof dangles on Godzilla like a hat. It looks kind of dumb. Almost angrily, Godzilla knocks it away. A soldier flees Godzilla. He zigzags as the shadow of the roof segments get larger, then lands right on top of him. A beat, then we see the soldier, unhurt, climbing out through an upper window of the roof. He darts away just as it gets stepped on. Jill steps out of the building. People flee past her as she stands staring at Godzilla. Tanks on the periphery of the airfield fire at Godzilla with little effect. Godzilla turns, scanning the horizon. He stops, seems to look directly at Jill. Is he aware of her or staring in her direction simply by chance? We don't know. Jill stares back at the monster. The moment is broken by the distant sound of a boat horn. Godzilla abruptly turns in the direction of the sound. Exterior, Buzzards Bay, shoreline, day. Godzilla approaches, drops down onto all fours. He slips into the water. He sinks and is gone. Exterior, Mississippi River, day. A small passenger plane flies above the river, marshland on either side. Interior, passenger plane, day. A vacationer snaps photos out the window.
As the central river artery of the United States, the Mississippi is one of the busiest commercial waterways in the world.
Hey, cool structure.
The pilot pauses and frowns.
There's no statue on this tour.
Exterior, Mississippi River, day. The plane buzzing over. The Griffin, it takes to the air, flying up past the passenger plane. The plane is shaken by the turbulence caused by its massive wings. Interior, passenger plane, day. The plane is out of control. The vacationer looks sick.
Next time I just stay home. No more traveling, no more.
The pilot fights the controls as the plane dives. Interior, St. George Project, Situation Room, day.
Lost it.
Godzilla's been sighted, moving slowly down Long Island Sound, south of Bridgeport.
The room is crowded, bustling. Jill and Benedict look up.
Given their relative speed, where will they meet?
We're calculating it now.
On the main monitor is a map. 2 electronic lines are drawn on it, one projecting Godzilla's path and extending it. The other projects the Griffin's path and extends it. Aaron bursts into the Situation Room. Fleer follows.
What happened out there?
He left.
We just got in the way. Godzilla's instinctively programmed to find that thing.
On the monitor, the lines are drawing closer.
And kill it before it can multiply. Marty told us before Aaron.
Oh,
he died.
Shit. Oh.
Okay, Aaron, he died.
Oh, yeah. You're telling me.
Aaron knew it was coming, but it's still a shock. Jill reaches out to him, hesitates, then takes his hand. He looks up at her, nods, smiles sadly. On the monitor, the 2 lines intersect at.
Oh, shit! Manhattan!
Jill freezes, goes pale. It hits her that Tina is in danger.
Do we even try to evacuate? It might kill more people than it saves.
You gotta tell them. You gotta give them a chance.
We can't just abandon people.
What do you think, Dr. Llewellyn?
Jill hasn't been listening, lost in her own thoughts. She moves to a phone, quickly punches a number.
Dr. Llewellyn?
We hear the busy signal. The call did not go through. Jill drops the phone, heads for the door.
What are you doing?
Tina is in New York.
You can't leave now.
Tina is more important. We can't just abandon people.
And with that, she's out the door. Benedek, Aaron, and Fleer watch her go. A beat, then Benedek turns to Aaron.
As acting head of the St. George Project, what is your advice to the military?
Evacuate New York City, right?
Interior, Greenwich Village, apartment, day. Tina, scared, bangs futilely on the buttons of the phone. An all circuits busy message plays in her ear. The television is on, tuned to CNN, showing the Utah footage of the Griffin.
Once again, we'll show you dramatic footage of the Utah monster that now appears to be approaching New York City.
Again, we see flames. The burning waitress stumble and fall. Tina gives up on the phone, rushes for the door. Exterior, Greenwich Village, apartment building, day. Tina exits the foyer door, stops at the first step, shocked. The street in front of her is pandemonium. Cars jam the street, horns honking, looters stream in and out of every corner grocery store. A trash can, contents in flames, is thrown onto the hood of a police car. On the bottom steps of the stairs, a devout woman kneels, purse beside her, praying intently. A teenager snatches the purse, rummages through it. Nothing. He throws it at the woman. She doesn't seem to care. She looks at Tina and smiles.
Anybody could jump in. I didn't cast this.
Pray with me.
Pray with me, darling. Pray for the rapture to take us.
Tina backs away into the foyer, slams the door shut. Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. A Huey helicopter carrying Jill flies over the East River, past the Brooklyn Bridge, crowded with evacuating people. The Huey pilot listens to his headphones.
Manhattan airspace just became restricted to essential only.
I've got clearance.
I know, I'm just saying.
He chokes on his words. Jill follows his stare. The Griffin moves lazily through the sky.
It's real.
He veers the Huey away from Manhattan.
What are you doing?
I just stopped being essential.
Wrong. You're taking me into Manhattan. Turn this thing around.
The Huey pilot gives her a hard stare, then banks the copter hard, makes a beeline straight for the Wall Street heliport. He keeps the Huey hovering just above the ground.
Here we are, Manhattan.
My daughter's in the village.
Then she's on her own.
The Huey pilot starts to lift the copter. Jill pushes open the door and jumps out.
Have a nice walk.
And he's gone, heading the Huey back across the river. A matte black Apache gunship cuts across the Huey's path, heading toward Governor's Island. We drop down from the helicopters to the East River, the skyline reflected in the water. Just south of the Brooklyn Bridge, something disturbs the stillness. Half above the surface are Godzilla's eyes as he pushes through the river. Exterior, Governor's Island, day. Fade up title, Governor's Island. Aaron, Fleer, and Benedek are at the hastily constructed command post near the water's edge. Phones, communication gear, monitors. Across the water is the Manhattan skyline and Liberty Island, Statue of Liberty prominent.
You know, that thing is really pissing me off.
And we see it's not the statue. The Griffin has clawed up onto the pedestal. The lady has fallen before it. She lies crushed and broken at its feet. The black Apache gunship, bristling with weaponry, lands. Pike steps out, unintimidated by the whirring rotors. He nods to the crew wearing all black, no military insignia. Pike heads for the command post.
Godzilla's in the East River headed that way. I don't want to hear any quotes.
Exterior, East River, day. Godzilla reaches the docks of the Lower East Side and pulls himself ashore, blithely doing major property damage. On the Brooklyn Bridge, Godzilla is spotted. Cars gridlocked by the evacuation are abandoned as the people flee. On the docks, Godzilla ignores the people who run from him. He pauses, gets his bearings, rips through the L tracks. A train jumps the line. He moves through the canyon of buildings towards the battery at the tip of the island. Exterior, sporting goods store, day. Looters emerge from shattered windows, toss guns into the back of a van. One has an armful of automatic weapons.
Look! Full auto! Guys, had him. Load him in the back.
His cohort is about to reply, but his jaw drops. He stares at something behind the looter, then turns and runs. The looter turns. Godzilla towers above, steps towards him.
Holy! Get away! Get away!
He drops all but one rifle, starts firing up at Godzilla. Godzilla's eyes narrow. He takes another step. The looter is crushed beneath Godzilla's foot. Godzilla stomps a few more times for good measure. Turns. Beyond Battery Park, across the water, is Liberty Island and the Griffin. Godzilla roars. The Griffin's head whips around. It sees Godzilla. Godzilla stretches himself to full height in obvious challenge. Roars again. The Griffin screams, spreads its wings, takes to the air. It rushes towards Godzilla. Godzilla waits. The two monsters crash together. Exterior, Governor's Island, day. The gathered watches Godzilla is lifted bodily, rammed back.
Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Exterior, Manhattan, day. Godzilla grabs the Griffin's leg, pulls it down. The Griffin flaps furiously, pulling away. Godzilla wraps his tail, monkey-like, around the I-beams of an under-construction building. The Griffin screams. Godzilla hauls it nearer and bites into the leg. The Griffin screams. Godzilla hauls it near and bites into the leg. The Griffin cries out in pain, rears back, and fires a bolt at Godzilla. Godzilla is blown backwards into the building skeleton, which topples. The Griffin presses its advantage, fires another bolt. Godzilla staggers, moves off back into the concrete canyons. The Griffin soars past him, turns, then comes straight back, rakes him with extended talons. Godzilla roars, and the Griffin screams. Exterior, Greenwich Village, day. The scream echoes. Jill glances up. The streets are nearly deserted. Scattered fires, burns. Something shatters behind her. She turns, sees nothing, quickens her pace up the steps into the apartment building. Interior, apartment building, hallway, day. Jill moves along warily. Doors are broken in, property scattered through the hallway, the aftermath of smash and grab looting. An apartment door bursts open. Two young boys ran past Jill carrying stereo equipment. Jill catches her breath, hurries to a door. It's closed tight. She tries the knob, locked, bangs on the door.
Tina! Tina!
The door snaps open, and Jill's staring down the barrel of an automatic.
I told you, go away. Mom!
She grabs Jill in an embrace, and they speak at once.
Thank you.
You're all right.
I can't believe you.
All right, well, thank God
Thank
you're
God.
here.
No, okay, good.
Jill holds her back at arm's length, examining her. Relieved, her eyes fall on the gun, and she frowns.
Aunt Julius, it's safe. Safety's on.
She sticks it in her waistband. Jill considers saying something, then shrugs.
I'm glad you came.
They gaze at each other, 16 years of history between them, and then they embrace again, holding on to each other.
Now we've just got to find a way off this damn island.
Just like Gilligan.
Jill smiles, and the deep thwump thwump of a helicopter reverberates through the building. Jill looks up. Exterior, Manhattan, day. A helicopter swoops and banks, trying to keep up with the Griffin. The Griffin soars over the buildings, chasing Godzilla, who scurries along the streets, sometimes on all fours, a mouse chased by a hawk. Exterior, World Trade Towers, day. The Griffin spots Godzilla between the twin towers, scowls, realizes it is Godzilla's reflection in the North Tower. The Griffin banks around, swoops down toward the image, then turns, lashes out at Godzilla near the South Tower, smashing it. Except that's a reflection too. During the Griffin's bank turn, Godzilla moved to the other side. Godzilla springs at the Griffin, teeth and claws tearing into its wings. The Griffin throws itself backwards, smashing Godzilla against the tower. They flail violently, crushing and destroy the tower's base. Exterior, Governor's Island, day. In the distance, dust rises from the World Trade Center. One of the towers leans over dangerously. The monitors show helicopter views of the battle. Benedict, Flair, and Piker Ashen.
Can even Godzilla beat that thing?
Oh, don't be defeatist.
Why isn't he using his fire?
He stares at the monitors, trying to figure it out. Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. The Griffin pulls itself into the air. Godzilla makes a leaping snap for its legs, catches them, hauls the Griffin down. The Griffin reverses its momentum, suddenly sending both monsters hard into the dangerously leaning tower. Exterior, Manhattan, day. On Jill and Tina, they look up as the tower collapses. The ground shakes beneath their feet. Loose masonry crushes down around them. Exterior, Governor's Island, day. The observers are aghast. A dust cloud rises from the city, the skyline now absent one half of the World Trade Center. And then the Griffin appears, flying shakily, still aloft. It fires another bolt.
It survived that.
The restraining device.
What?
We've got to get it off him. It's keeping Godzilla from using his fire. Hell, wait, when did we put a restraining device on? Never mind.
Continuity. He cuts off. An image on a monitor catches his eye. On screen, Godzilla slumped against a building, not moving.
My God.
It's probably killing him.
That's a good thing, Bot. We want these things dead, remember? And if one kills off the other, that's one less that we have to kill.
You don't get it, do you? We've got nothing to fear from Godzilla. I mean...
You're insane. Look at what it's caused.
Aaron turns away dismissively, deals only with Benedek.
Admiral, we've got to get that thing off of him.
Benedek looks down at Godzilla's image on the monitor, reaches a decision, and looks at Aaron.
How?
Pike starts to object, but Benedek cuts him off.
My command, Mr. Pike. How?
From behind him, Fear speaks up.
Ahem. C4 plastic explosive.
C4 plastic explosives. How do we plant them, Fleer?
We.
He and Aaron lock eyes, regard each other.
Wait, you're serious about this?
Aaron does not need to answer. Fleer sighs.
No amount of money is worth this. We need a helicopter.
Exterior, Manhattan, day. Jill and Tina at a payphone. Jill drops the receiver.
All circuits are busy. Damn it.
She spots an electronics store across the street, strides towards it, picks up a fallen chunk of masonry.
Mom, what are you doing?
Jill hurls the chunk at the window and shatters it.
Mom!
Jill reaches in, grabs a cellular phone. A sign beside it reads, "Try our demo, make a free call." She starts punching buttons.
Boop, 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 boop. I think the owner will be eligible. Federal disaster assistance. Lou and Jill. Security code 7 Alpha. Day code plant echo water. Voice print. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece. Yes. Get me Admiral Benedict. I don't care where he is. Connect me, damn it.
Exterior, Governor's Island, day. A phone chirps. Benedict picks it up.
Benedict, where are you?
Manhattan. My daughter and I. We need a lift out of here.
I can't do it. The only thing we're sending in now are gunships to provide cover for Vought.
What? Why? What's he doing?
He's going to get the restraining device off Godzilla. He says it's keeping Godzilla from beating the Griffin. What do you think?
Jill considers and comes to a conclusion.
You should believe him. He knows what he's talking about.
You should get to cover. Find a basement fallout shelter.
Jill has closed the phone, cutting him off.
Aaron will make them land. Come on.
She catches Tina's hand and leads her towards Godzilla.
Mom, don't we want to go that way?
Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. A transport helicopter cuts through the sky. 2 Apache helicopters provide cover. The Griffin sees them coming, wheels towards them. The gunships engage the Griffin, peppering it with missiles. The door of the transport copter slides back, revealing Interior helicopter day. Fleer and Aaron wear harnesses and radio headsets. Fleer is showing Aaron the ropes, literally.
You ever rappelled before?
Yeah, some rock climbing in Yosemite.
Well, this is nothing like that. Here, you're in free fall and you've only got 2 options to stop you. Option 1, there's this little break here.
And what's option 2?
Aaron realizes what Fleer is going to say.
Ground.
A gunship explodes, shot down by the Griffin, the blast making them shield their eyes.
Jesus.
We've got to end this.
The helicopter drops down between buildings, hiding the battle from view.
We're over him. Man, that's an ugly sucker.
Fleer and Aaron look out, down at Godzilla. Godzilla is slumped against a building, almost upright. It's 200 feet from the restraining device to the ground.
Whatever you do, don't look down.
Aaron scowls at him. They clip their harnesses to lines, drop the lines down past the silver restraining device.
I'll hold her solid, but make it quick.
They nod, prepare to step off.
You know what's funny? This doesn't seem weird.
He and Aaron exchange a look, and then they go out the door. Exterior, Manhattan day. Jill and Tina round a corner. They help each other across a huge fissure in the street, careful of electrical conduits and broken gas mains. They look up in time to see Aaron and Fleer drop toward Godzilla. Fleer smoothly, Aaron less so.
Ah!
Jeez! Are they nuts?
On Godzilla, as Fleer and Aaron slide past Godzilla's unconscious face, Fleer drops lightly onto the restraining device, canted at an extreme angle. Aaron nearly misses the device. Fleer reaches out, hauls him on.
How you doing?
Invigorated.
Hey.
Fleer smiles, begins unpacking bricks of C4 explosive. Exterior, Manhattan sky, day. The second Apache narrowly avoids a bolt from the Griffin, fires back. The Griffin beats its wings furiously. The helicopter is blown backwards into the Empire State Building. It explodes, damaging the top floors of the building. The helicopter falls onto the street below. The Griffin wheels back towards Godzilla. 2 more missiles explode on its back. It screams, turns back. Pike's black Apache zooms past, peppering the Griffin with gunfire. Interior, Pike's Apache, day. The Griffin sweeps past the copter, buffeting it. In front of them now, the Griffin prepares to beat its wings like before.
Put the building between us.
Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. Pike's Apache sweeps behind the Empire State Building. More windows are blown out by the Griffin's onslaught. The Griffin circles the building after the Apache. The Apache keeps the building between them. Interior, Pike's Apache, day.
Fire through the building.
George?
Sir?
Fire through the building.
Sir, that's the Empire State Building.
And?
The gunner has no response. He turns to his instruments. Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. Missiles fire from the Apache, rip through the top floors of the Empire State Building, hit the Griffin. More missiles, more hits. The Griffin loses a little altitude. The top of the building shifts, then topples, mooring tower and all onto the Griffin, the debris slamming into it, driving it down. The Griffin hits the street, the wreckage raining down onto it, half burying it. It lies still. Interior, Pike's Apache, day. Pike smiles.
That's one. Let's make sure the other one doesn't get up either.
What about the people?
Acceptable losses. We'll build them a monument. Go!
The pilot turns the chopper toward Godzilla. Interior helicopter, day. The pilot looks up, sees the gunship making a beeline for him. He is puzzled by its attack posture. The chain guns open fire.
Shit!
Exterior, Manhattan, day. On Godzilla, bullets rip across Godzilla toward Fleer and Aaron on the restraining device. They dive for what cover they can find behind Godzilla's dorsals on Jill and Tina, who see the attack.
Aren't they on our side?
Pike.
On Pike in the helicopter.
Missiles, please!
On the Griffin, the pile of debris at the base of the Empire State Building shifts. Then the Griffin emerges from it. It shakes itself off, sending up a cloud of masonry and dust. It looks up and spots Pike's gunship. The Griffin's eyes narrow, and it leaps into the air. On Fleer and Aaron, Fleer sees the missile launchers.
Whoa, uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
On Pike, who smiles as the pilot puts a hand on the fire control. The targeting screen shows the restraining device dead bang center. The Griffin hits the chopper, missiles fire, hit the building beside Godzilla, shrapnel spraying the transport helicopter. The concessive force buffets it, pushes it towards the building opposite. On Godzilla, Fleer and Aaron are dragged across the device. The helicopter rotor dips, catches Aaron's line. It snaps.
Ah!
On Godzilla, Fleer is being hauled off the restraining device. He grabs at his harness release. The helicopter smashes into the building and falls. Fleer tumbles out of his harness as it is yanked away, but he's out in space, a long drop below. The helicopter crashes into the street, explodes. Aaron grabs Fleer's arm. Fleer slams into the side of the device, but he does not fall. Aaron, lying prone, holds him.
I thought I was going to use option 2.
Yeah.
Aaron grunts, hauls Fleer back up. On Pike's Apache, it spins out of control. The Griffin's huge paw swipes across the cockpit, and the cockpit, pilot, and gunner are gone. The Apache hits a roof, crashes off into the street below. Griffin refocuses on Godzilla, screams as it dives for him. Fleer and Aaron whirl. See the Griffin dropping straight for them, claws extended for the kill. It slams into the tops of the surrounding buildings. The street is too narrow for its wingspan. It screams in frustration and then spots a wide intersection. The Griffin lands, tries to move down the street toward Godzilla. Again, its wingspan is too wide. The Griffin paces back and forth and snarls. Its eyes narrow. An idea occurs. It folds back its wings. Now it can fit between the buildings. It crosses the fissure, stalks towards Godzilla. On Jill and Tina, who are between the Griffin and Godzilla, Jill looks up at Aaron and Fleer, who are totally exposed.
Uh-oh.
So exposed.
She looks around the street, heads for an abandoned fuel tanker. It's locked. She smashes the window with a trash can.
Mom, you're getting a real Jones for vandalism.
I take after my daughter.
Jill climbs into the cab, roots around the back, finds some road flares, then looks at the ignition, checks behind the visor. No keys. Damn. From outside comes an eager snarl. On Aaron, who hears it, looks up. The Griffin is uncomfortably close. Fleer looks up too, then returns to setting a timer.
Ignore it. Just do the job.
Aaron resumes, reeling in the line still attached to his harness, but keeps a wary eye peeled.
Until you can't do the job.
On Jill, who grabs Tina's arm and hauls her into the truck.
You can hotwire it, right?
Tina's surprised, then nods. She scrambles beneath the dashboard, strips out the wires quickly.
Remember, green to red.
Tina glances up at her, smiles, makes an adjustment. The engine grinds, then starts.
Can you drive it? Can you drive it?
I can. I can find first gear. I can find first gear.
Good enough. Get it rolling toward that thing, then jump clear.
Tina nods. Jill gives her a quick hug, a kiss, then climbs out of the cab, up on top of the truck. Tina puts it in gear, grinds him a little, starts forward. On Godzilla, pulls another timer out of the bag.
Shit.
What?
Hey, one of them's busted. I can set it for 30 seconds.
Aaron looks at the street. The Griffin is nearing, picking its way across broken chunks of pavement, crushing cars.
30 seconds can be a lifetime. Do it.
Okay.
Aaron ties his line off on the restraining device. Fleer hooks up the explosives. On Jill, as she scrambles back to the top hatch on the tanks, opens it, lights the flares. The truck is heading for the Griffin. The Griffin stops, cocks its head. What is this?
Get out, Tina. Get out, Tina. Get out, Tina.
And then Tina jumps clear, rolls. She sits up, stares after the tanker. Jill, perched on top, flares blazing, heading straight for the Griffin, picking up speed.
Get out, Mom! Get out, Mom! Get out, Mom!
Jill waits a little longer, then drops the flares into the tanks and jumps. She lands in a pile of full garbage bags. Tina runs to her. The truck roars toward the Griffin, and then the Griffin sidesteps. The truck passes between its legs. It looks down under itself, following the truck's passage.
Shit! It missed!
The truck crashes into the fissure behind the Griffin. The Griffin looks up, locks its stare on Jill and Tina.
Oh, shit!
The Griffin paces forward. Jill grabs Tina, dodges the swipe of a huge paw, pulls her into an abandoned storefront. The Griffin's head looms huge in the shattered front window. It reaches a paw in toward Jill and Tina, claws nearly reaching them, backed into a narrow recess. Suddenly, behind the Griffin, the truck explodes and ignites the gas main. Another explosion. The pavement roils like a wave. A moving wall of flame explodes from the street, catching the Griffin as it springs. Jill and Tina run for safety as the ground shakes, dodging falling debris.
God damn it, Mom! You could have let me in on your plan!
Stop cursing.
On Godzilla, Fleer and Aaron grab for handholds.
What the funky Kumadina?
In the street, the Griffin is trapped in a wall of flames, panicked, screaming, trying desperately to spread its wings. It finally twists free, demolishing buildings on either side of the street. Its final scream so ear-piercingly loud that windows shatter. The Griffin, still afire, climbs into the sky, a falling star in reverse.
That's going to make our explosions look puny.
It's not the size, it's how you use it, bros.
He sets the final charge in place and looks up at Aaron. Aaron nods, rope in his hands, poised to leap off the device. Fleer pushes the buttons in both charges, then swings out onto Aaron's back. They step off into space, rappelling down into a terrace 100 feet below. The timer counts down. 21, 20, 19. Jill and Tina watch as the two figures drop down the rope. The timer hits 13, 12, 11. Aaron's harness hits frayed line, tangles, freezes, 20 feet to go. He can't free the line.
What is wrong?
Frozen. I can't get it.
Hit the release.
The timer ticks off. 7, 6, 5. Aaron yanks the release. He and Fleer drop from the rope. The charges explode. Aaron and Fleer hit the terrace hard. The restraining device blows free. Line begins pooling beside Aaron. His eyes widen, looks up. The restraining device tank falls directly towards them. They scramble for safety. Fleer grabs Aaron's collar, hauls him out of the way just as the device crashes onto the terrace. They lie there, breathing hard. And then the building shakes, and there is a roar. Godzilla is awake. He uses the building to haul himself up. Aaron and Fleer get the hell out of there. They race downstairs as the building collapses around them. On Jill and Tina as they run for the building.
Oh, do they get out?
Godzilla towers above them. He roars again, and above him the Griffin screams. Godzilla looks up. The Griffin dives towards Earth. Patches of its skin are blackened, still smoking. It fires a bolt at Godzilla, who staggers but does not fall. And then Godzilla breathes fire, hits the Griffin head on. The Griffin screams again, this time in pain, and veers off towards the East River. Godzilla roars again and pounds away, giving chase.
There they are!
Aaron and Fleer emerge from the demolished building, supporting each other, exhausted. But the tremors of Godzilla's exit dislodge a large, already precarious sign. Its bulk swings down toward the two men. They dive flat. The sign barely misses them, crashing to the ground. They lie there, unmoving. Jill and Tina reach them.
Aaron, are you all right? Aaron?
Are you okay, mister?
Jill, Tina, Nelson, Fleer, Nelson, Jill, and Tina.
Yeah.
Jill laughs out loud in relief. From the river comes a roar. Exterior, Manhattan Street, day. Pike comes to, battered, bleeding, lying inside the wrecked tail section of his Apache. He unstraps himself. A weapons locker is sprung open. He grabs an M16. Using the rifle as a crutch, he climbs out. Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. The Griffin gazes down. Below, Godzilla moves between buildings, slips into the East River. The Griffin dives. Exterior, Manhattan, street, day. Aaron, Jill, Fleer, and Tina run. The street is plunged into darkness by the shadow of the Griffin, then back to the light once it passes. Jill pulls up short. Pike is standing right there, holding the machine gun. Beyond him is the gaping entrance to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel.
Pike, you bastard.
Please, Doctor, calm down.
From the river comes a scream, a roar, the sounds of battle. And then the Griffin smashes down onto its back intolerably close to the group, the impact knocking them off their feet. The Griffin twists to its feet. Pike, frightened, sprays it with machine gun fire, peppering the Griffin. It reacts to the gnat-like irritation, spots Pike and the others.
The tunnel!
The Griffin lashes out at them. They scramble for the tunnel. Interior, tunnel, day. The group runs into the tunnel, the Griffin after them, a cat after mice. It tries to reach in after them, but its arm is too large. Pike, bringing up the rear, empties the M16 at it. The Griffin snarls, opens its mouth. Its tongue of snakes lashes out, two of them catching Pike around the waist and leg. Aaron catches his arm, but Pike is yanked away. He is dragged out of the tunnel into the Griffin's mouth. The Griffin bites down. Jill, Aaron, Tina, and Fleer are shocked. Fleer spots a large tunnel utility truck. Gestures leads them to it. Exterior, Manhattan Street, day. The Griffin throws back its head, swallowing Pike. The Griffin shuts its eyes, twitches involuntarily. From the distance comes Godzilla's roar. The Griffin looks up at it, glances around the area. Its eyes fall on the restraining device tank, lying in the street. Amniotic fluid leaks slowly from the several cracks. The Griffin scowls, narrows its eyes, as though trying to remember something. It does. It seems to smile, and then the Griffin rolls its head, cracking its neck. Pike's tick exactly. The Griffin pounces on the tank. It glances towards the East River, clutching the tank in its front paws. The Griffin takes to the skies. Interior, tunnel, day. The utility truck races through the tunnel, ramming through abandoned cars. Fleer at the wheel hits the brakes. The truck slews to a stop. The entire width of the tunnel is blocked by a semi-in trailer, halfway through an aborted U-turn.
I guess we walk.
They climb out, hurry past the semi. On the wall is a sign, Brooklyn Battery Tunnel midpoint. Exterior, East River, day. Over the bay, the Griffin spots Godzilla, heads for him, skimming above the water. Godzilla sees the Griffin coming, cocks his head to one side. The Griffin holds the tank in its paws, closing on Godzilla. Godzilla steps back wary, almost looking for a place to retreat to. The Brooklyn Bridge is behind him. He glances back at the Griffin. The Griffin squeezes the tank in anticipation. Metal howls with strain. Amniotic fluid seeps out of the tank. Godzilla sinks down into the water, seemingly afraid, just his head visible above the waterline. Suddenly, Godzilla breathes fire, not at the Griffin, but across the water, creating a curtain of steam, an instant fog bank. The Griffin is blinded, but can't pull up. Godzilla dives. The Griffin screams, bank suddenly flying blind, and then the Brooklyn Bridge looms up out of the fog. The Griffin hits the bridge full speed, tangles in the cabling, drops the tank. Godzilla erupts from the water, smashes into the Griffin. The Griffin tears one arm free from the cables, reaches for the tank. With an almost casual flip of its tail, Godzilla sends the tank flying out of the river into Manhattan. The Griffin screams in frustration. The griffin twists and Godzilla becomes tangled with some cables. The griffin snaps its wings open. A bioelectric bolt scrabbles across them. The cables are electrified. Godzilla is electrocuted. The griffin tears free, slams into the reeling Godzilla. Godzilla stumbles backward. Interior, tunnel, day. The tunnel shakes. Roof tiles come loose, clatter down. Aaron, Jill, Fleer, and Tina freeze and look up.
Uh-oh.
Another boom and cracks appear. Water begins to seep through.
I guess we run.
They start running. Exterior, East River, day. Godzilla has a deathlock on the griffin. The griffin flaps furiously, straining with all its might. Both monsters are lifted out of the water. Godzilla twists around and bites the griffin's wing, tears a chunk out of it. The monsters crash back into the water. Interior, tunnel, day. Jill, Aaron, Fleer, and Tina look back over their shoulders. In the distance, about a half-mile away, the roof of the tunnel caves in. Godzilla's foot appears, crushing down from the ceiling. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of water pour in past Godzilla's leg, gushing down from above. Tons of water, filling the tunnel, sweeping toward the foursome. Jill spots an abandoned car, a red Subaru, its door open.
In there.
The roar of the approaching water is deafening. They have only seconds. They scramble for the car. POV, the wall of water as it rushes towards them and the car, picking up speed. Interior, Subaru, day. Aaron behind the wheel. Jill beside him. Fleer and Tina in the back. They slam the doors shut.
Seatbelts.
They pull the shoulder belts across. Fleer frantically searches for his latch. It's buried in the seat. He digs it out. The belt tongue goes in with a soft click. Just the wall of water slams into the car. Interior, tunnel, day. The Subaru is tossed like a toy. It rolls, twists, is swept along, caroms off a police car. All are shoved along by the immense force of the water. It washes over the cars, covering them, filling the tunnel. Interior, Subaru, day. The foursome are thrown violently, the seat belts barely holding them in place. The vehicle is completely submerged. Some water seeps in, but the passenger compartment for the most part holds. Tina screams as a man's face is driven hard against the side of the window, then washed away.
I seem to say this a lot, but uh-oh!
The bumper of a bottled water truck is visible, growing larger in the windshield. They're hurtling toward it. Interior, tunnel, underwater, day. The angle of the two vehicles causes the Subaru to be shunted to one side, smashing in tight between the truck and the wall of the tunnel. A violent, sudden stop as the hood crumples. Interior, Subaru, day. The foursome breathe hard as they recover. Aaron straightens behind the wheel and grimaces in pain, unnoticed by the others. There comes the loud creak of metal under stress. A small rear window cracks with gunshot suddenness. Water seeps through the cracks.
We've got to equalize the pressure or it's going to crush us. Everyone, crack your window a little bit.
They do so, and water pours in.
Now we can open the doors to get out.
One problem.
Jill looks over at him and gasps. The steering wheel and dashboard have been torqued, pinning him. She leans across and tries to wrench the wheel up.
Damn it. Can you wiggle out?
No, not yet.
The water in the car is waist level now and rising. Fleer leans across the seat. Together, he and Jill try to pull the wheel up. Nothing.
Can you get the seat lever?
Aaron reaches down, finds it, pulls it. A loud clunk. Fleer tries to pull the seat back. No go.
It feels like it's just about to give.
Water's at their shoulders now.
Hey, get out of here. All of you.
Don't be stupid.
You either. Get out.
He tilts his head back to breathe. A final deep breath and he is submerged. The car is filled. Underwater, Aaron indicates, get out. Jill and Fleer, holding their breath, keep trying to free him. He pushes them away. Tina looks on, frightened. She reaches for the door latch and pushes the door open. It hits the tunnel wall and stops. She goes wide-eyed, pushes it a couple of times, no go. Jill and Fleer exchange a glance. They try their doors. They are wedged shut by the bottled water truck. Tina rolls her window all the way down, but the tunnel wall prevents her from wriggling out. The truck presents the same obstacle on the other side. Jill, Fleer, and Aaron exchange a dismayed glance. Exterior, East River, day. Godzilla holds the griffin beneath the water. The griffin bucks furiously, levers its rear legs into Godzilla's belly, and pushes, claws ripping flesh, shoving Godzilla back. The griffin surfaces, gasping for breath. It slashes its wingtips across Godzilla's eyes and takes off. Godzilla hits it with a blast of fire as it moves away. Interior, Subaru, underwater, day. Aaron gets an idea. He reaches down and pulls the rear hatch release, and it pops open. The last air in the car evacuates in a large bubble, and he indicates, go. Fleer shoves Tina out, hesitates. Aaron gestures angrily. Fleer goes. Sadly, Jill takes Aaron's hand. In a moment, between them, Jill looks away. Through the windshield is the water bottle truck. They are capped, filled bottles. Bubbles pour out of uncapped empty bottles, still in their racks, but several racks are empty. Jill pushes away from Aaron, out of the car. Interior, tunnel, underwater, day. Fleer and Tina swim above the Subaru. The tunnel is illumined by a weird combination of emergency lamps and headlights. Stabbing through the water, Jill swims up to them, looking up past them. The ceiling is dark, unknowable, a leap of faith. Then she gestures, follow me, to Fleer and Tina, and swims upward. Interior, Subaru, underwater, day. Aaron is not moving, conserving his breath. Only his eyes belay his panic. They dart from side to side, tears well up. He clenches his jaw. His eyes roll back as his air runs out. His mouth opens, a few last bubbles escaping. Suddenly, Jill is there, swimming up to him and kissing him. Air bubbles rise up from their lips. Aaron is shocked, realizing she has transferred air to him. Fleer is behind him then. Jill braces her feet on the dashboard and pulls up at the wheel while Fleer strains against the seat, and Aaron twists and comes free. The three swim out of the car. Interior, tunnel, underwater, day. Aaron follows Jill and Fleer toward the ceiling of the tunnel. Tina waits for them, buoyed up against the tiles by the three large water bottles she is holding on to. They are capped and empty, except, of course, for air. At the base of one, they've made a pinhole, which Tina covers with her thumb. Aaron grins. Brilliant. Jake takes the pinholed bottle from Tina. Air bubbles stream up as they transfer it. Jill puts her mouth to the pinhole, takes a breath in, demonstration, holds the bottle out for Aaron. Their faces close together. He draws a deep breath, holding her gaze, an intense moment between them. Tina, watching them, frowns, puzzled. What's going on there? Then Jill smiles at him, tilts her head towards the exit. Aaron smiles back, nods. Interior, tunnel, underwater, day. Each with a water bottle, the foursome half swim, half walk, upside down on the ceiling, making their way toward the light at the tunnel mouth. Exterior, East River, day. Blood from Godzilla's wounds stains the water. Godzilla ignores it. He stands, not moving, staring into the sky, scanning it, much as he did in the Taki Islands. Then he stiffens. He spotted something, a small dot in the distance. Exterior, Manhattan, sky, day. The griffin, too, is wounded, literally licking its wounds. It flies slowly, circling Manhattan far below. It circles faster, becoming more agitated. It screams and sweeps its wings back and begins a power dive straight towards Godzilla. Exterior, East River, day. Godzilla makes a slight sound at the back of his throat. He knows the griffin is coming, but he doesn't move. He waits. The griffin hurtles towards Earth, claws bared, its speed peeling its lips back in a vicious snarl. Godzilla waits. The griffin is nearly on Godzilla, screaming towards him. Godzilla leaps forward suddenly, exposing the 3 rows of jagged dorsal fins along his back. The griffin is ripped open from stem to stern. Both monsters crash down into the river. A huge impact wave races in both directions down the East River, flooding streets on either shore. Exterior, tunnel mouth, day. Aaron emerges from the watery depths of the tunnel into the sunlight. Jill, Tina, and Fleer right behind him. A number of military vehicles, helicopters, and personnel in the area. The foursome suck in air and hug in celebration, but then Aaron freezes. The others turn to see what he's staring at. Exterior, East River, day. Godzilla shakily finds his footing. He tackles the griffin, who struggles wildly. A wounded and vicious animal. It tries to get airborne. Godzilla grabs the griffin's tail, hauls it down. Godzilla levers his fingers into the griffin's ribcage and pulls its body apart with a vicious crack. Godzilla slams the griffin back into the river. He strikes like a snake, teeth glinting, jaws slamming shut beneath the water. Godzilla tears the head off the griffin, holds it up, stares at it. Its eyes are closed. It's not moving. And then the eyes snap open, and the body erupts from the water, clawing blindly at Godzilla, even as it tries to repair itself. Godzilla breathes a stream of fire into the body. Like being microwaved, the body ignites from the inside out and explodes. Hanging from Godzilla's hand, the head snarls and bites Godzilla, gives it an almost exasperated look, and spikes the head on jagged remains of one of the towers of Brooklyn Bridge. The head stops snapping. Weird blue eyes stare starkly. Godzilla leans close to it, stares back. It is dead. Godzilla roars. Injured, bleeding from dozens of wounds, but triumphant, Godzilla begins pushing through the water back to open sea. Exterior, tunnel, mouth, day. Aaron realizes he's been holding his breath and exhales in relief.
Is it all over?
Think so. I mean, I hope so.
Fleer stares out at the battleground, the river red with blood and ichor, the head staked atop the bridge.
I don't care how much you pay me, I am not cleaning this up.
Suddenly from the sky comes a scream. Exterior, sky, day. It is the scream of fighter jets streaking towards them. Exterior, tunnel mouth, day.
That's an attack formation.
The jets fire. Missiles streak toward Godzilla. Impact. Godzilla roars in pain. The jets streak past, banking to come around for another pass.
Hey, knock it off!
Chill. They can't.
I know.
She looks around and spots a familiar Huey helicopter.
You.
The Huey pilot turns and is startled to see her.
Christ, I thought I was rid of you.
We need your helicopter.
Forget it. I told you I don't have clearance.
I'm giving you the clearance.
Screw you. Bring me up on charges. I don't care. No way I'm leaving the ground.
There's the sound of a gun cocking. Behind Jill, Tina has leveled her pistol at the pilot.
You really ought to listen to my mom.
The Huey pilot stares agog, smiling. Fleer slips the pilot's sidearm from its holster. Exterior, Governor's Island, day.
Tell Red Wing 1 to target its wounds specifically and not let up. I want saturation fire.
Interior, fighter cockpit, day. The fighter pilot has Godzilla in his sights. Godzilla looks up, wounded and tired, showing a lot of the white of the eyes. He's prepared to die.
Roger that, ground commencing. Strapping run. What the?
The Huey copter has risen up suddenly between the fighters and Godzilla. Exterior, sky, day. The fighters veer aside, jet wash buffeting the rescue copter. Exterior, Governor's Island, day. Benedict has seen the action through binoculars.
Red Wing 1, make another approach. Unidentified copter, get the hell out of there. Do you copy?
Jill?
We're not going anywhere, Benedict.
Benedict stares at the speaker.
Dr. Llewellyn.
Interior, Huey, day. The Huey pilot at the controls, nervously aware of Tina holding the gun. Tina, not really paying attention, lets the barrel of her gun droop. Fleer lifts it back on line with a finger. Jill is on the radio, Aaron beside her.
Benedict, call off the fighters.
Intercut with Benedict.
Don't be insane, Jill. Godzilla is weak, wounded.
We can't kill Godzilla.
I say we can. Red Wing, target the creature. If the helicopter doesn't move, splash it.
Benedict, think. We couldn't have stopped the Griffin without Godzilla. We know it came from space. How many more are there?
Benedict starts to say something and pauses. Interior, fighter, day. The jet's computer targeting system locks onto the Huey, Godzilla beyond it.
We have to lock on the target.
Exterior, Governor's Island, day. Benedict is torn.
How many more?
It's a tough call for Benedict, but he reaches for the mic.
Red Wing 1, break off the attack.
Exterior, Manhattan's day. The jets sweep past the copter, then past Godzilla. Godzilla watches them go by, then turns for the sea and collapses. Suddenly, just dead weight. He slowly sinks out of sight, unmoving. The water is stained pinkish by his blood. Interior, Huey, day.
Is he dead?
I don't know.
God damn it, we were too late.
Jill stares sadly down at the ocean. She lowers her head.
No. I guess I'm out of a job.
You and me both.
He's still out there, Mom.
Yes, he's still out there.
A pause.
So what do we do?
Jill's response is simple. She puts an arm around Tina, draws her close. A moment, then she puts out a hand to Aaron, who takes it. Together, they look out at the calm water. And then Fleer spots something.
I knew he was a tough bastard. Look!
In the ocean, disturbing the surface is a V-shaped wake caused by Godzilla's passage beneath the water. The wake becomes longer as he picks up speed and heads out towards open sea. Camera drops to below the water into the murky depths. Silence. Godzilla isn't there, but then we hear the characteristic booming of Godzilla's heart. And as the screen fades to black, we hear one last thing, Godzilla's distinctive roar. The end.
Yay! Give a round of applause. We did it. It only took 4 hours, more than 4 hours, but we did it. All right. If people have to go, you can go because we're going to do promos. And I know it's been a long time. I always don't expect these shows to go as long as they do, but they do. So if you have to go, you can run. But if anybody wants to stay for promos real quick, first off, I think real quick, that's definitely better than the 1998 one. I don't know if anybody else can agree, but I was more attached to that. Anyway, let's get on the promos. So who wants the promo for Aaron? So Aaron's hand.
Yeah, so there's one more spot available for Mining for Gold Jam online next Wednesday. We have 19 out of 20 spots filled. So if you want to do that, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Golden Improv Jam. Go to the event for the next Wednesday online jam and mark yourself as going to reserve your spot. And Saturday, September 25th on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AAS_table_reading. I will be doing a live table reading of the screenplay Back to the Future. So come check that out. Sign up for the narrator position is going to be next Monday afternoon. And then that following week will be the signups for cast. So stay tuned if you're in those groups. And if you're not in those sign-up groups, message me and I'll get you in those sign-up groups for the table readings that I do. And I'll be doing an unproduced screenplay in October. So watch out, Donovan. It's only for October.
No, I know. Don't worry. I don't own a copyright to this. Anybody?
Neither do I.
Brenna, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, coming up in a few hours because the time zone is different. We have a puppet improv jam through SMAC Virtual, which is based out of Shanghai. So the timing on that is 9 p.m. UTC +8. I'm in California. That's 6 a.m. my time. So yeah. So you can email me or find me online to get registered for that. I'm Brenna Judkins. You can find me pretty much anywhere. And then I also have a workshop coming up with Highwire Improv on September 18th called Brenna's Expression Session. If you like getting into like more emotive stuff and more like expressive body work type stuff. That is what that workshop is about. Thank you.
Hey, cool. Anybody else? Yes, let's all right. Rich, right? Godzilla, and then Sam, and then then we'll do the rest.
Hey, y'all, if you like my voice and like hearing me talk, and come and check out a show that I do called Simprov. I go get a improv partner. I make them a sim, and then I put them on free will, and then we just narrate. Like we give them voices of what they're doing. It's very, very fun. It's very, very silly. Brenna's been on it before. You can check that out at facebook.com/Simprov show. We have 32 episodes up right now. Make sure to check that out.
Nice. Sam?
Michael Warkowski's gonna be really proud of me for this one. This Thursday, we have we're premiering the first episode of season 2 of live from the asylum, right?
From
Live from the asylum. It starts at I think 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right, guys?
Yeah, 9:30.
9:30 Eastern.
Yeah, Carolyn and Aaron are also in that.
Yeah.
Some others. It'll be a good time.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. That's this Thursday, right?
That's this Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, tune in for that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, angry weed.
George, I think had a hand up, right?
Yes, we have shows coming up on September 24. Rich Lee Team, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as Typical Heroes under Smack. It's going to be 8 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 8 p.m. Manila time.
Cool. Who else had their hand up? Sonia, yes.
If anybody is in New York City, we do a live improv show at the Tank. It's located at 312 West 36th Street, and it's at 9:30 p.m. It's a live improv show. And if you're not in New York City, but are online and interested in watching this show called Chop for Shot, it's sort of like a play or a screenplay reading, but it has a drink ref and drinking rules and bring your own beer, bring your own alcoholic beverage or non-alcoholic beverage. It's on, the next one is next week on 9/11, and I believe we're doing the musical Annie. So
Annie, that's awesome.
I don't know if I'm in it yet, but I'm going to be there to watch it. So hopefully you all would be interested in it. It's through the Armory, thearmorycomedy.com. So please check it out. It's at 9:30 next Saturday.
Yes, I've done that a few times as a guest. So sometimes they are looking for guests once in a while, and you can email and maybe you could be a guest spot on it, which is fun. Anybody else have anything to promote before I want to promote one last thing? I know you're probably like, yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. It's been too long. All right, I'll promote one more thing.
Real quick, I can't show you because
I mean, I'm sleepy.
Janice, put the link. Can you come on camera and promote or no?
No, I just want to share that I'm a storyteller. For you guys who would like to kind of build up your storytelling for improv. I've been featured on several web casts. I'm doing the Grand Slam for the Collider, the Story Collider on October 1st, which it features storytellers from the science field. So it'll be like doctors and lawyer, astronauts and things like that. I don't know how I got on the show, but it's October 1st. And if you want stories, you can check me out at Janice Matia's bid. I put the web up and it's just janiceMatia.biz/stories.
Awesome. And I'll finish this up real quick. Like I said, I know it's getting late. It's been here for a while. Hopefully, some of you would like to come back on October 2nd for another unproduced screenplay. Like I said, I know it was long, but I'm sure it was fun, right? Hopefully. And I've learned how to put roles because I've been doing. So October 2nd, here's the announcement. I was going to do a different film, but I realized, well, it's Halloween season. So I'm going to be doing Freddy versus Jason, the Peter Briggs edition.
Oh boy.
Which is has time travel and has a lot of wackiness. And so
Just watched that movie recently.
Yeah, this one's really wacky. If you search up the Peter Briggs script of Freddy versus Jason,
Bring it on.
They go to Elm Street. There's Thanos is in it apparently.
What?
Snapping Knife Thanos?
The Thanos?
Somebody named Thanos is in the script. Okay. So
is Galactus also in this?
No, but it's so hopefully you'll come back and you weren't like, holy shit, it was too long.
I'll
But it
be
was
playing
fun.
Freddy and Jason.
Yes, you should. All right, everybody.
Scary Terry.
Good night, everybody. I don't want to keep you too long.